Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at 3.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 6 at 3 o'clock. You are inside the News 6 newsroom for the only live local newscast at this hour, bringing you the stories that are important right now.
That's right, and we want to get to Molly Reed. She is your Volusia County community correspondent who is in Daytona Beach right now. We're talking about an urgent search for an escaped murder suspect. Molly?
That's right. They still have not found him since they last saw him last night in this area around the boardwalk and the pier. We see the incident command response actually just pulling up from Daytona Beach Police. We've been seeing police out here all day walking around this area trying to find him, showing people pictures of this guy. We're going to show you a picture of him now. They want you to know that if you see him, to call 911 immediately, because they are saying he should be considered dangerous and they think he still has a gun on him. Now, police say this is 31-year-old Xavion Perry. Gainesville police say he fled their city after they believe he shot and killed a woman. Then around 11:30 last night, police technology like license plate readers picked him up here in Daytona Beach. Police say they found him, but he wouldn't stop, and they chased him beachside to the Main Street Beach approach. They say he jumped out of his car, ran onto the pier, then jumped off of the pier onto the beach.
And it is totally all hands on deck. So I have additional resources coming in to saturate that area to ensure the safety, do our best to ensure the safety of the community and the public. Obviously, because the suspect is still at large, I'm not going to say that it's safe, but I'm going to ask the community to remain vigilant.
Now, again, you can see police still here on the scene where they last saw him. They believe that he is still in the area. They say he may not be, but they are treating it as if he is. Again, if you see him, they're asking you to get to a safe place, but then call 911 immediately. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Molly Reed, News 6.
All right, Molly, thank you. We'll see you later on with an update on that story.
Well, now a South Florida judge is deciding whether or not to lock up a Titusville teen who's accused of murdering his stepsister on a cruise ship. Let's update you on this story that the whole world has been watching. 18-year-old Anna Kepner, of course, found dead on that Carnival Horizon cruise ship in November. Her 16-year-old stepbrother now being prosecuted as an adult for her rape and murder. Federal prosecutors say he's a danger to others, needs to be in custody while awaiting trial. And to prove that point, prosecutors shared never-before-seen evidence in Anna's murder, including some pretty graphic details. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest was in that Miami courtroom. He breaks down everything that happened. That's coming up ahead at 4. Your Brevard County community correspondent James Barbero also speaking with Anna's father today. You can hear from him at 4 o'clock as well. We'll have the story covered for you as it continues to develop. That's really the best look we've gotten of this young man.
It's the first time we've had a clear look at him. He's always been wearing a hat or a hoodie or something obstructing his face. Well, some relief may be coming to the wallets of millions of Floridians. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis announced a special session to begin next week for lawmakers to tackle, wait for it, property taxes.
Hey, here we go again. So what did the governor have to say? He talked about this a lot today. News 6's Mike Valenti was listening to the whole thing. So, Mike, tell me where we're landing with this property tax.
Well, before I get into that, let me preface, if you're keeping track at home, this is the third special session in about 2 or 3 months. So kind of get whiplash with all these news. But this special session was a long time coming. You know, the governor has been barnstorming the state along with Blazing Golia, other state leaders, pushing against property taxes, either for an elimination of property taxes or property tax relief. But you can't pass anything regarding property taxes without 3/5 members of the House and Senate passing, and then only once it's passed in the legislature, it goes to the ballot in November, and 60% of the voters have to pass it then. But let's get into the substance here. This is not an elimination of the property tax. This would just be raising the homestead exemption here. The homestead could reduce the assessed value on your home. Right now, it's around $50,000. DeSantis is proposing raising that exemption to $250,000. And then it would be kind of a phased-in approach. Eventually, even after he's in office, he envisions the legislature having a schedule for this to apply to people with houses up to $500,000. Sure. So that, he says, that could apply to 92% of all Floridian homeowners. We still don't know the political appetite of this. Remember the last time, before the budget special session, when the Republicans convened for a special session on AI, vaccine requirements, and redistricting, House Speaker Republican Daniel Perez gavelled in and then immediately gavelled out on AI and vaccine requirements. He said, we know the governor wants us to tackle AI and vaccines. We're not doing that. We're only going to do redistricting. So Ben Albritton, the Senate president, has already gotten behind DeSantis' call, but it'll be interesting to see how Daniel Perez comports himself come Monday.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is the third special session. It's regular, special, extra special.
Yeah. And remember, governor still has to sign a budget.
Budget's
that's right, yeah.
So still waiting on that.
Legislature is going to vote on that later this week.
You would think they would handle all this in the actual session, but who knows? All right, Mike
Then it wouldn't be
Valenti,
special.
thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you, Mike. All right, property taxes, the topic of our poll today. You can take out your phone, scan the QR code that popped up on your screen right there in the bottom left-hand corner. It'll take you to clickorlando.com/react, and that's where you can weigh in. We want to know, would you like to see property tax abolished in Florida? I'm laughing because that yellow line is almost solid across there. Right now, 78% of you are saying yes. Absolutely.
And this is what I've been saying. If they do find something and get it on the ballot, it is very rare when people vote against lowering their own taxes. So if it gets on the ballot,
this is going to
the
happen.
likelihood of it happening is very high. So interesting. Thank you for weighing in on our poll. Let's talk about the weather a little bit. We have had some showers starting to pop up today.
Yeah, it has been a little bit steamy out there too. Meteorologist Julie Broughton joins us now. And Julie, people who are visiting this area this time of year and they're not used to this kind of steaminess.
Yeah, it certainly is feeling very humid out there. Some spots, again, right now are feeling close to 100 as we are tracking some showers, and rain chances are starting to go up. Now, we've talked about this for the last few days. Today's kind of a transition day for us. So right now, you'll notice we're seeing more showers than we have the last few days. So some heavier rain kind of moving to the north off near Pearson, where you see the yellows, the reds. That shows us where we're talking about pockets of heavier rain. As we pull out a little bit farther south, you can see down toward Orlando and Oak Ridge, seeing some of those showers as well. And I think we'll keep some of these around for the next few hours, but by tomorrow, our chance of rain goes all the way up to 80%. So we are designating tomorrow through Sunday weather aware days. We're not necessarily concerned about a strong severe weather impact, but during the next several days, we could pick up between 3 to 5 inches of rain. So that means we're looking at the potential of some flooding in low-lying areas. I mean, we absolutely need this rain. It will be beneficial, but it can come with some issues as well. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, Julie.
We
Thank
appreciate
you. Well, a Lake County man could be facing more than 50 years or nearly 50 years, 50 charges for sexually abusing a child, could be facing the death penalty.
Yeah, and that is what the state is pushing for in this case. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez has the update.
With hundreds of videos that detectives say show child sexual material, including recordings that a child took herself as proof of the alleged abuse at the hands of Schubert Macarat, prosecutors here in Lake County feel they have enough evidence to go for the death penalty. In March, Lake County deputies responded to a home in Leesburg after someone reported that a child had told them she was being abused by 41-year-old Schubert Macarat.
So when I say ongoing, we're talking years of abuse for this particular child.
The victim, a girl under 12 years old, told investigators she used her own cell phone to document the assault.
And she recorded it because she knew that she would need it as evidence.
Arrested that same night, a grand jury has now indicted Macarat on 47 charges, 12 of which are capital sexual assault for the alleged abuse and possession of child pornography.
That's resulted in addition to those things being collected, a 4 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive, that had at least 3,000 videos on it, 700 of which are confirmed child sexual abuse material.
Because of the severity of the case and the amount of evidence prosecutors say proved Macarat was abusing the girl for at least 3 years, they are seeking the death penalty.
In this state, we protect our children. In this state, we protect our vulnerable. In this state, we have zero tolerance for child predators.
Macarat is due back in court next month. Of course, we'll update you as this case continues. Reporting in Lake County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Well, after dozens of sloths died in connection with that now failed Sloth World attraction in Orlando, Local leaders are stepping up to try and make sure that something like this does not happen ever again. And of course, this story is garnering a lot of attention worldwide. Orange County Commissioner Nicole Wilson sent a letter to the Board of Commissioners and the mayor yesterday. She says she wants the board to talk about creating an ordinance banning importing exotic wildlife into Orange County for commercial entertainment purposes. Commissioner Wilson said the Sloth World incident highlighted concerns and exposed broader questions regarding whether existing regulatory systems protect animals and the public. She said in the letter, quote, "The Sloth World tragedy should not be viewed as an isolated incident, but rather as an opportunity to examine whether gaps exist within the systems intended to protect animals, residents, and visitors." And of course, that is not the last we've heard of this. This case continues to go on and on as we are continuing to watch the 9 remaining sloths in the care of the Central Florida Zoo.
And we're just hoping for the best with those ones. Hopefully they've gotten all that out of their system. All right, well, speaking of exotic animals, grab your net and your safari hat because we're going to Seminole County, where apparently there's a monkey on the loose.
Oh my.
It's where a viewer sent us this video of this monkey roaming around.
He's a good size.
Yeah, he's got some shoulders on him there. It's apparently in the Wekiva Springs State Park area, which they've been known to roam around. Here's Seminole County community correspondent Alex Cook on the way right now. He's going to track down the monkey, he tells us.
Is he?
He's going to have an update coming up at 5 o'clock of this guy. And we're going to see if he can find him.
If I see
What the
Alex
neighbors are
wearing a
talking
big
about.
yellow hat, we're going to know something has taken a
Curious
turn.
George?
Yeah, exactly. Something has taken a turn. But that's interesting to see that fella out there.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, it's old, it's a decrepit building, but what do leaders want taxpayers to do about this currently being used police headquarters? We're going to find out.
Yeah, and we're also going to talk about what a lot of you are saying about a sporting event coming to a pretty unlikely place next.
Leaders in Oviedo are set to talk about what to do next when it comes to the city's aging police station. I'm your community correspondent, Mark Lehman. On Wednesday, the City Council will be getting an update on the police annex and renovation project. It comes as the city is also exploring funding options that they'll need to overcome as they move forward with the plan.
We have a floor plan. We've got some very specific documents, but now it really is time to get into the nitty-gritty.
It's an important step forward on a long-awaited expansion for Oviedo's police headquarters. On Wednesday, the City Council is getting an update on an annex and renovation project. Is this expansion something that's needed?
If Oviedo is to have its own police force, we do need more space, absolutely.
10 years ago, Oviedo residents approved the city borrowing $11.4 million for a new public safety building, but that never happened. In 2023, voters rejected a measure to build a $49 million police station, so the city looked into an expansion instead. The plan calls for Oviedo to build the two-story annex here behind me. It would then be attached right over here to the eastern part of the current police headquarters. It would expand capacity by about 15,000 square feet. The project comes with a price tag of more than $18 million.
I think it's a discussion that council needs to have, whether this reflects the will of the residents or if maybe we are getting a little bit bigger than we meant to.
Right now, the city has nearly $17 million available in potential funding with a $1.2 million shortfall on the project. Sladek says state property tax reform could also play a big role in how things move forward.
If the taxing situation should change from Tallahassee, how are we going to pay for police? I don't know. I truly don't know.
Sladek says the city may wait to see what happens in Tallahassee before deciding to borrow more than $11 million for this project. The City Council will be getting an update during their work session on Wednesday at 5:30 in the afternoon. For now, reporting in Oviedo, I'm your community correspondent, Mark Lehman, News 6.
All right, there's no better judge of what's going on out there than the people, right? They have their finger on the pulse of the big stories.
We know too much these days, right?
And another person who knows a whole lot is our social media sleuth, DJ.
That's right. And he has what you guys are saying about a very big event coming together at the White House.
Okay, there's another construction project happening at the White House, and of course, it's got everyone talking. You may have seen some pictures or video of this on social media over the past couple of days. The UFC is building its octagon right on the South Lawn for next month's big event that's meant to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday and President Donald Trump's 80th birthday. The UFC even showed off some online renderings, giving us a better idea of what the June 14th fight should look like. Now, President Trump says once this is completed, this UFC project will feature about a 5,000-seat arena right on the South Lawn outside the front door of the White House. So, of course, when we posted this on the News 6 Facebook page, people had a lot to say about it. Kimberly says this is giving Hunger Games vibes. Ed says, why do I feel like we're in the RoboCop movie? I like Harry's comment here. It looks like Velocicoaster. There's also a ton of comments here supporting this. People who are excited for the event. Dory says she's going to be there. And Weaver really gets to the meat of the issue here. I feel like we just use cranes too much in every city lately. Do we just have way too many cranes to play with? So if you want to read more about this event, how it came to be, and what to expect ahead of the June 14th showcase, you go to that QR code on the screen right now. It's going to take you to our Facebook post where you can find a link to our article. You can also join the conversation and let us know. Are you excited for the UFC card at the White House? Or is this one you're probably going to skip?
There are different opinions all over the place on that one for sure.
That is a good answer. After the break, the major shakeup at a big company.
And the new crackdown from the federal government, they're hoping to protect your kids. We'll talk about it coming up after the break.
Hey there, I'm News 6 anchor Lauren Melendez. The FDA is cracking down on nicotine marketed toward kids and teens. Plus, a major company's board chair is out. So let's get right into this with Maribel Aber in today's Money Matters. So this has to do with the oil company BP.
Lauren, this is what we know. Oil company BP has fired its board chair, Albert Manifold, after less than a year in the role. The company cited, quote, serious concerns over governance and conduct, but didn't give details. Now, it said the board's decision was unanimous. The shakeup comes after BP more than doubled earnings last quarter. Lauren.
Wow, that sounds almost like a vote of no confidence. All right, that'll be interesting. Let's talk about this crackdown on nicotine products marketed toward kids.
So the FDA is sending warning letters to retailers selling nicotine and tobacco products aimed at kids and teens. Officials say the packaging closely resembles candy, breath mints, and cough drops. The letters are part of a broader crackdown on illegal imports and unauthorized products. Businesses that fail to remove the items could face legal action, fines, and inventory seizures. The FDA says about 1,000 letters have gone out so far. I mean, Lauren, I remember growing up, there were candy cigarettes. You don't see those anymore.
No, you don't. And I know, and they seem so innocent, but things have taken quite a turn, quite a huge uptick since then. Yeah. That's a good point, Maribel. All right, remember, for the latest money and consumer news anytime, you can always head to our website, clickorlando.com.
Loved some candy cigarettes when I was
as a kid. Yes, that's crazy. That
you could blow
that's
the
what
puff
we had.
of smoke out the
oh
end.
Oh my gosh, it's so insane to think about that right now. Well, an airline is in some hot water after regulators say too many passengers actually hit up the airport bar before boarding the plane. What could possibly go wrong there? The FAA proposed a $165,000 fine against Alaska Airlines. They say they allowed drunk passengers on to some of its flights. The agency claims there were 11 flights between February 2024 and last year with drunk people on board. Federal regulations don't allow passengers who appear intoxicated to actually board a plane. The FAA says the airline has 30 days to respond after receiving the enforcement letter. They don't want you to bring your own drinks on either.
No, they want
or so I've heard.
They want to sell it to you for sure. All right, well, what is real and who can you trust? Maybe you can't even trust me. We're going to watch a video of someone who deep faked me and try to talk about how you can figure out these issues coming up after the break.
Not trusting you, that sounds like crazy talk
to
me.
Thank you, Ginger.
Also ahead on the news at 4 o'clock, we've covered all the new businesses coming to Winter Garden. And some people who live there are not happy about the new changes set to be decided on tomorrow that have people fired up. We'll talk about it.
Coming up in the morning, could poor air quality be hurting your health? There's a study that's been underway for years. We'll tell you when the community in Orlando can get the results.
Plus, changes are coming to your weather forecast. Days of rain as rain chances are on the rise. We'll have your update every 10 minutes.
Join us for News 6 Morning starting at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to News 6 at 3 o'clock. You know, downtown Orlando is changing, but not everyone is happy about it.
Yeah, the city is looking to make some changes to impact maybe the flavor of downtown Orlando. Your community correspondent, Jana Manohalal, talks to businesses about the impacts.
That's right. The downtown we once knew is no longer the future of downtown. Take the Attic/Treehouse Bar, for example. It's a very popular college bar known for its bathtubs you can take pictures in. They posted yesterday that they're closing after 16 years of being in business. Many people on Instagram calling it the end of an era. I mean, the general manager told me that he started to see the decline when Church Street shut down, and I'm set to talk with the owner of this building here to see what he thinks was the cause of their closure. But I want to show you something else. The reason that downtown is changing so much isn't only the businesses, it's also the streets here. Look at Magnolia Avenue here. You see those construction cones there and the construction they're doing. You can definitely hear it, but Magnolia Avenue isn't the only one having work done to it. Orange Avenue and Roslyn Avenue, those one-way streets will soon be turned into two-way streets. The city says the goal for that is to make Orlando, downtown Orlando specifically, more accessible for people. So better sidewalks, better bike lanes, easier traffic patterns, again, to make this downtown area more family friendly. Tanqueray's, for example, which closed back in December of 2025, was a underground jazz club and used to be bar and grill, but now the building owner for that place tells me it could be turned into coffee and light bites that would be open during the day, as opposed to the nightclub it used to be.
All right, that was Jana Manohalal in downtown for us. We'll keep track of those changes in the future. Well, an upset dad and some resort workers, they say they spotted a man who was doing some lewd things in a very busy Memorial Day pool.
Yeah, so they jumped into action and they held that man until deputies could arrive at the Hilton Grand Vacation Club. That's across from SeaWorld. Your Orange County community correspondent Troy Campbell is speaking with employees and people staying there.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office says when their deputies showed up here on Saturday evening, there were 2 security guards and a bystander, making sure that that suspect didn't get away. They also say evidence shows he was exposing himself in front of children.
Oh my. Yes, that's very concerning, but I'm glad that the residents or the people that were staying here hopped in and grabbed him.
Guests at the Hilton Grand Vacations Club SeaWorld Orlando reacting to the arrest of 56-year-old David Bain for lewd behavior and indecent exposure. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, just after 7 p.m. on Saturday, at the resort's pool, frightened guests flagged down an employee who witnessed Bain with his pants down, exposing himself, and, quote, multiple women frantically moved small children away.
And does it also add to the severity of his crime that he did it in front of children?
Absolutely. That is unacceptable. Absolutely.
Investigators say security personnel and another man staying at the hotel confronted Bain and told him to pull his pants up. They also stopped him from leaving before deputies could arrive.
I can hardly believe that it happened. I'm glad that the sheriff came so fast, actually.
Investigators say there's video evidence showing Bain acting in a sexual manner in full view of multiple women, children, and multiple employees of the hotel.
While out here, we also spoke with an employee off camera. He tells us that a lot of staff have been discussing this since it happened on Saturday. He also adds it appears security did the right thing.
Visitors staying at the hotel say everyone has to stay on alert.
How important is it as a tourist to feel like there's safe areas to come and bring your children around these theme parks?
It's very important, but we understand that it happens all the time, but I'm glad everybody stepped in and took care of it.
I'm assuming that security is guaranteed.
And according to online jail records, as of Tuesday, Bain was still locked up in the Orange County Jail. In Orange County, Troy Campbell, News 6.
And I do want to say, Troy called Hilton Vacation Club their corporate headquarters. They were not open at the time he called.
All right. Well, a federal judge who may have been based here in Florida is in a bit of trouble, and when we tell you why, you might be a little stunned at the problem here. Court documents filed last Friday from the Committee on Judicial Conduct show the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals found one of their judges had an extramarital affair with a high-ranking law enforcement officer. It says that they were having relations in the judge's chambers during business hours. and within earshot of staff multiple times over the course of 2 years, so other people could hear what was going on. It also says the judge made false statements to the chief circuit judge and chief district judge while they were investigating the affair. The judge was privately reprimanded, so we don't know who that person is, but the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals does cover Florida. They also will never be allowed to serve as a chief judge and will indefinitely refrain from serving on any judicial committee.
So got away with it for 2 years, and now we don't even get to find out who they were.
I mean, other people heard what was happening, so something was going on.
Plenty of people know, apparently. All right, well, this next woman is accused of hitting a guy with her car because she thought he was talking to her girlfriend. She was not okay with that. So let's give you the details here. Orange County Sheriff's deputies called to the neighborhood. It's near the mall at Millennia early yesterday morning. Guy says he was standing outside talking to some friends when a car pulled up. He says Winnie Exume, this woman right here, got out, accused him of talking or trying to talk to her girlfriend. He told her he never talked to the girlfriend in a romantic way. That's when he said Exume told him, "I'm gonna kill you." Got into her car, backed up, and rammed into him, his car, and another car. Exume was arrested for aggravated battery with a motor vehicle and leaving the scene of a crash with damage because after all of that, she ended up just taking off.
Oh, goodness. Okay, now to something that could save your life. A big shift in screening guidelines for colon cancer. The American Cancer Society says average risk adults should continue to start colon cancer screening at age 45. But while the colonoscopy remains the gold standard for screening, the new guidance recommends at-home testing and in-office laboratory blood test as potential alternatives. Colonoscopy is typically recommended every 10 years, while stool test and blood test are suggested every 3 years. Colon cancer is now the leading cause of cancer death in people younger than 50 years old, with a 3% increase in the death rate from 2018 to 2022. It's estimated about 1 in 3 people in the U.S. who should get tested for colon cancer have never been screened.
We know that a stage 1 colon cancer can typically be cut out, avoid chemotherapy and radiation versus finding it later. And what these screening tests aim to do is to do exactly that. Find it very early when it's easily treatable and cure rates are greater than 95, close to 100%.
Experts hope this critical shift in expanding screening options will lower barriers to access and save more lives, although insurance coverage and affordability remain among the biggest factors in whether patients who are eligible for colorectal cancer screening actually get tested, but it is important to do so.
And I have heard that if you're young and you go in and you say you want a screening, you basically have to pay for it out of your own pocket.
Out of your own pocket.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
What's an insurance company for?
Yeah, it doesn't sound real when you say it like that.
Right.
And that brings us to our next story. What is real anymore? Sometimes you can't even
I
believe
don't
your
know.
own eyes. I tell you, as somebody who does this for a living, it's getting very, very scary out there. Anything you see online now, you have to question.
That's what an expert tells me. So I went to this conference. It was a high-tech AI conference, tons of people, packed shoulder to shoulder. And then I went into this, I got invited to this back room with this gentleman named Perry Carpenter. He is what do you call a chief deception officer.
Wow.
His job is to deceive you. And Perry had apparently taken a look at my social media, used videos and pieces of my voice, entered it into this system, and he was able to make a video, pretty convincing, of me asking you to buy my meme coin. Take a look.
Matt Austin here, coming to you today with an offer you will not believe. It's my new meme coin. Get in while it's hot, folks. We're all gonna be freaking rich. Trust me.
Oh, the whisper. It even whispered.
Yeah, okay. I would have spotted that one.
Yeah.
One, because you're not selling that. And two, the lips don't match. It's always the lips.
It was a little off. Now, I do want to say this was about 40 minutes with just a laptop in a back room on some decent Wi-Fi. He said if he were in his home setup with all of his toys,
With the
he could have really
professional
made
stuff.
it more convincing. That isn't even the crazy thing. He actually wore my face.
What?
Like a
skin suit?
Like a deep face skin suit, which is not easy to say. And then he FaceTimed with me so he could use any face he wants And then you could layer a voice in. He didn't do that while I was there.
You FaceTime with a guy with your own face.
I FaceTimed my own face. And I had a hair. If you look in that video, I had a hair that was off, and in the FaceTime, he actually fixes the hair on my face. That was him actually controlling. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So when's that full story coming up?
That full story is coming up we have it at 4, and then we have it at 5 as well, if you missed that.
My goodness, that was scary though. I mean, why are you
why are
you pimping out meme coins?
It was like somebody walked over my grave. Seeing yourself say something you've never said is pretty freaky.
All right. Well, it's evident that AI is everywhere, including now even in your finances. The trading platform Robinhood now lets customers link their favorite AI agents to their accounts, meaning a machine can not only pick stocks, but actually buy and sell them for users. AI can also access virtual versions of a customer's Robinhood credit card and make purchases based on instructions.
What could go wrong?
The more I read this, it's terrifying. Robinhood says users can place limits on the new features or require any action to be approved before you do it, before it's executed. I just want people to understand AI only knows what you put into it. So my worry is that someone hacking into the system telling you that this is good and it's to their advantage, and now you're investing in something.
Right. And is your personal information safe? If you're giving the AI access to your Robinhood account and all of your money, how easy would it be for someone to get that? I don't know.
Terrifying. Almost as terrifying as seeing you FaceTime yourself.
It's not even that terrifying. All right, circling back to the moon base update, we want to tell you about what NASA is planning. Of course, we're going to put people on the moon. We're also going to put a bunch of stuff up there. So let's give you the latest information on that. NASA has picked 2 companies to build full-size versions of these lunar terrain vehicles. Astrolab plans to create one to transport both astronauts and supplies. They're going with the convertible version, it looks like. The smaller Pegasus LTV is from Lunar Outpost. That one is designed to move slightly faster. NASA says each rover costs about $220 million.
Oh, okay.
Even more, so it's about 220 Bugattis.
Oh my gosh.
It says they're essential for the plans to build a moon base. They look kind of cool. I don't see a steering wheel, so self-driving on the moon.
I would think for that price, it should drive you wherever you needed to go.
It should get you to the moon.
It should fly you to the moon, actually. All right, stay with us. Coming up, meteorologist Julie Broughton has what you can expect for the rest of this week coming up after the break.
Plus, the new way one community is trying to keep kids safe around their school. We'll be right back.
Your Wednesday evening traffic alert. Look, we have scheduled construction all across Central Florida, but we also are expecting some wet weather over the next couple of days. So make sure you're paying attention. That routine might be in, and then we might be delaying some of this stuff. I-4, Turnpike, things like that. Champions Gate, east and westbound on the ground and up on I-4. And then east and westbound on I-4 here between 528 and the Florida Turnpike. You'll see some ramp work at the Turnpike overnight. And then, of course, some work taking place in your express lanes westbound I-4 approaching the downtown area. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Bill Ray Nissan Longwood. We do it the right way.
Let's welcome you back. We're going to take a live look at what I think is one of the coolest, most beautiful places in Central Florida, Mount Dora, overlooking Lake Dora here. Lake's looking nice and calm, and it's a pretty good looking day, but we have had some showers, spotty ones albeit around, and we're going to see this more and more as we get closer to the weekend.
Right. We've been talking about this. Today's a transition day into a wetter period that really starts for us tomorrow. So because of that, we have designated Thursday through Sunday as weather aware days. That's because we're talking about higher rain chances. I mean, we're not necessarily talking about a big severe component, but we are looking at rain chances around 60 to 80% for the next several days. And along with that, we could see anywhere from around 3 to 5 inches of rain, which means we could be dealing with some areas of localized flooding. Here's a look at the radar for you right now as we are moving through our Wednesday afternoon. And I think we're going to continue to see these showers increasing in coverage as we move through the next several hours. Here's how it looks as we start you out in southern Brevard County. And you can see the general motion today. The showers are kind of moving off to the north and west. And we have seen some pockets of heavy rain, not a ton of lightning. Here's what it looks like as we go into Orange and Seminole County. We had an airport weather warning in place earlier for the airport in Orlando for MCO because of some stronger winds. That is now lifted to the north pretty quickly, working through areas like Altamont Springs. And as we take you up into our northern counties, up toward Pearson and Crescent City, seeing some of those showers. Now, I do think we're likely looking at a sea breeze collision through the evening hours. Here's how that looks on our modeling. So around 6 o'clock, again, both those sea breezes continuing to come in. And I think the showers today will go a little bit later than they've gone the last several days. Even around 10, 11 o'clock, I think we could still be dealing with some showers. Now watch what happens for your Thursday. Again, tomorrow, that is when we are designating those weather aware days to start. We're looking at quite a bit of cloud cover to start the day, but that tropical moisture we've been talking about rolls up into Central Florida. And by 2, 3 o'clock, we're talking about pretty widespread showers and the potential of some heavy rain. Now, right now, most of us are hanging right around 90, a little bit cooler in Orlando because we've seen some of those showers moving through. This is how it feels right now. You'll notice Sanford feeling like 100. It also feels like 100 in Ocala. 7-day forecast, again, keeping those weather aware days in place tomorrow through Sunday, but rain chances do stay high even into next week. So this will be good for our drought, but if you're in a low-lying area that is flood prone, it could cause some problems.
Yeah, good time to keep that app handy as well.
That's right. So you want to be prepared. You can always track what's happening where you are with our free News 6 weather app. All you have to do is search WKMG in your app store.
All right, well, Titusville is the latest local place to start adding those speeding cameras to a school zone. Our community correspondent, Ashley Garrett, is taking a look at the technology and the impact.
The law has not changed. It's always been illegal to speed.
Tuesday, Titusville PD updated City Council on its new school zone cam initiative. In the program's first 60 days, more than 16,000 tickets have been issued. This for going 11 miles per hour over the speed limit in a school zone during school hours.
The success of this program is going to be based on citations dropping, not increasing.
Well, now that the warning period is over, those in violation will get a $100 citation in the mail. The school zones monitored, that's Apollo and Coquina Elementary, Andrew Jackson Middle, St. Teresa Catholic, Parks Avenue Christian Academy, and Titusville High.
This is targeted enforcement to protect children. That is it.
The initiative causing some ticketed to be annoyed. To those folks complaining, PD asked for citation numbers so they can look into each case. One woman taking an interesting approach.
She made her own fake citation. How do we know? Because at the bottom it said created by AI, and we couldn't replicate that. We couldn't find it, and that's why.
The cameras used are costing $3,500 a month. Money collected from tickets going toward the bill, and the money left over toward other public safety initiatives. And a heads up, while school is out for the summer, PD says the cameras will not be running. In Titusville, Ashley Garrett, News 6.
Speeding has always been illegal. That's my favorite line from that story. Yes.
Good advice. Slow down, especially in a school zone. Right. You don't want to have to shell out a lot of money in case you get a ticket there, but how much would you be willing to shell out to see some of the greatest athletes in the world?
What's the sport?
Yeah.
Let me check. Football. Football or soccer? I mean...
Wait, soccer.
Soccer.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'd pay, some money. Probably.
Ginger?
Some.
Is this
Okay.
a real question?
Yes, it is. The
Okay.
attorneys general for New York and New Jersey issued subpoenas to FIFA asking for information on how it priced tickets for the World Cup. They are also demanding information related to fan complaints about being misled. FIFA released tickets in batches, which the AGs say created fake scarcity. Some fans say they purchased tickets in more expensive parts of the stadiums, but they received tickets for less pricey seats. We looked at ticket prices for matches at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami on Ticketmaster. The cheapest match ticket starts at,
What?
you tell me, what do you think?
$2,000.
Okay, $420. The most expensive are nearly $3,900.
Okay, I was thinking like
So
Super Bowl.
I actually don't think that's terrible. Price-wise. I mean, I wouldn't pay it, but when you think about the cost to
Who's
go
the
see,
rich one up
not
here?
me, but when you think about seeing like the cost for concerts and all of that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't get a ticket
Yeah.
these days for under like $400. I feel like.
so and it's the World Cup. So.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
All right, after the break, a number of schools in Orange County are closing today. It is the last day of school. They are closing for good. We're talking with the people there about how these changes will be impacting them. We'll have that for you after the break.
A tough day for many families in Orange County as 7 Orange County public schools are set to be consolidated. That's due to low enrollment. I'm News 6's Amy Russo. Check this out. McCoy Elementary. This is one of those 7 schools that is being consolidated. And we were outside the school this morning as the last morning announcement was read over the intercom.
Very, very happy last day of school. Everybody have a terrific, wonderful last day.
That was the final morning announcement ever for McCoy Elementary School. It's just one of the 7 Orange County public schools closing their doors, ultimately forcing thousands of kids to move to new schools.
Gracie Guillen's 7-year-old daughter is one of them.
Es un choque emocional bastante para ellos.
It is a huge emotional shock for them. Their school is their second home. We talked about how she would go to another school, that McCoy was closing, and she asked me, "Why, Mom? I like my school. I like my teacher, my classmates, and my friends." Heartbroken by the closure, Guillen lives close to the school and says she's going to miss seeing children around her neighborhood.
No escuchar, porque siempre se escucha.
I will no longer hear the children playing in the park, the principal giving directions, or the daily activities happening at the school. Now it's going to feel much quieter. Since the initial announcement that the schools would probably be consolidated, parents have been very vocal. That includes Amanda Weber, who previously spoke to News 6 and has a son at Bonneville Elementary, one of the other schools, saying goodbye to students.
We're changing their before school care, we're changing their after care, we're changing their teachers, we're literally changing everything.
Guillen did say as far as what's next for her child and what school she would be going to in the future, that leaders over here at McCoy Elementary did equip them with the proper tools for an easy transition. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Amy Russo, News 6.
The last day of school is hard enough anyway because you say goodbye to your friends, but if it's the last day.
Very bittersweet.
Yeah, it really is tough to do. All right, we're getting ready for News 6 at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, coming up, we're going to have team coverage on the teenager who's accused of killing his stepsister on a cruise ship. He remains out of jail tonight after a hearing today, and we are hearing from the stepsister's father. We're going to have live reports for you coming up right after the break.
I'm meteorologist Julie Broughton tracking rain chances on the rise in minutes.
I'm Molly Reed in Daytona Beach, where police say they are still actively looking for a murder suspect. They say he came onto the pier here and jumped off. That's the last they saw him. We're going to be showing you a photo so you can help keep an eye out.
I'm News 6 investigator Mike DeForest in Miami, where we are learning horrific new details about Anna Kepner's murder on a cruise ship. That's coming up.
And after just picking up his daughter's diploma from where she would have graduated high school, this is another emotional day for Chris Kepner. I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero. We hear from him for the first time.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at 4.
A live look now as investigators actively search for that murder suspect out of Gainesville. Police say he shot and killed someone around 10 last night in Alachua County. And then an hour and a half later, officers saw him in Daytona Beach. They say he was even on the pier and live streaming on Facebook. We'll get to your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed on where that search stands in just a moment. But first, a judge deciding whether to lock up a Titusville teen accused of killing his stepsister on a cruise ship.
This story has been gaining national attention since we first reported on 18-year-old Anna Kepner's death back in November. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest was in a Miami courtroom today where horrific new details about Kepner's murder were revealed. And we do want to warn you, you may find these details disturbing.
Federal prosecutors here in Miami say Anna Kepner's stepbrother is a danger to others and should be held in custody until his trial. To illustrate the danger, the government disclosed never before shared information about the cruise ship murder. I was outside the Miami federal courthouse as Kepner's stepbrother arrived. Timothy Hudson is just 16 years old. Originally, when this case was being handled as a juvenile matter, a judge allowed Hudson to remain free while living with a family member. But now that a grand jury has charged Hudson as an adult and he's facing possible life in prison, prosecutors are asking a judge to detain him. On the night before the Carnival Horizon returned home to Miami in November, prosecutors say surveillance video from the cruise ship confirms 16-year-old Hudson and his 18-year-old stepsister Anna Kepner were alone together in a cabin for about 3 hours. According to prosecutors, Hudson raped his stepsister, leaving his DNA on her body. Based on how Kepner's underwear was found, prosecutors believe it was a violent encounter and not consensual. After the rape, prosecutors say Hudson most likely put Kepner in a chokehold and squeezed her neck for about 3 to 5 minutes until she died. After hiding Kepner's body underneath a bed in the stateroom, prosecutors say Hudson took her cell phone and then walked around the cruise ship until he threw the phone away in a trash can. Hudson, who has pleaded not guilty to aggravated sexual abuse and murder, did not challenge those allegations at this court hearing. Instead, his attorney argued that the 16-year-old boy is not a flight risk and not a danger to others and should be allowed to remain free while awaiting trial. For now, the judge allowed Hudson to return to his uncle's home. But the judge says he is considering the government's request to detain Hudson. Now, keep in mind, federal criminal juvenile cases are extremely rare. There is no federal juvenile detention center. The judge is asking the U.S. Marshals to come up with options where Hudson could be detained, possibly a state-run juvenile detention center, either here in Miami or closer to his family in Central Florida. Reporting in Miami, Mike DeForest, News 6.
And we have team coverage on the fallout from court today.
Now we are hearing from Anna Kepner's family. Your Titusville community correspondent James Sparvero spoke with her father, Chris, and he told James the stepbrother should not continue to walk free.
200 miles away from where 16-year-old Tim Hudson walked into a federal courthouse, this is where his 18-year-old stepsister, Anna Kepner, would have graduated from this month. I can show you outside Temple Christian School where a cross still marks where Anna parked her car right up until that family cruise back in November, where federal prosecutors say her 16-year-old stepbrother raped and strangled her in the room they were sharing. As Tim Hudson was in Miami Wednesday for a bond hearing, I called Anna Kepner's dad, Chris, who told me he wanted the judge to hold Tim Hudson until trial, but instead Hudson's going home to his family in Hernando County, where he's been staying for months.
I want him in custody. I think that if he was in custody, we would possibly get more out of this kid, considering that he's saying that he doesn't remember. With him being free and be able to do what he wants, he's put it in the back of his mind like there's no consequences for his actions.
Anna Kepner's actions left a lasting impact on her community. Since November, students and parents have told me so much about how they adored her.
She would turn a sad room into a happy room. She was just a light.
That light shining at the school's graduation ceremony this month. Chris Kepner talked to me about accepting his daughter's diploma.
It was very nice what the school did for us. The school gave us the yearbook, and they made a whole page about Anna.
And now Chris Kepner told me the school's making his daughter's parking spot a permanent memorial for Anna, and one that never chips or fades. Like her grandfather, Chris told me that Anna wanted to join the Navy after graduation. In Brevard County, I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
So sad. All right, let's take you outside for a live look. This is over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Rain chances are on the rise.
Meteorologist Julie Broughton joins us now with what we can expect. Julie?
We're going to see those rain chances really going up tomorrow and staying elevated through the weekend, but we are dealing with some showers out there right now. And I think as we head through the next several hours, we'll continue to see some of these increasing as both of our sea breezes come inland. Let's go in a little bit closer for you now in northern Lake County. We did see some of these showers moving through Orange County, through Seminole County, and now as they drift off to the north, they're moving up toward areas like Cassia and up toward Florida Hills. Not a lot of lightning with these storms so far today, but we are seeing some pockets of heavy rain. We can loop the radar for you over the last hour and see the general motion in the atmosphere today kind of lifting these showers off to the north as our west coast sea breeze moves inland as well. We'll see some of those sea breeze collisions happening, I think, generally between I-4 and I-75, and I think the showers will go a little bit later through the evening than they have the last couple of nights. Here's another look over downtown Orlando, seeing some clouds building. 92 degrees right now. It feels like 97, and if you are in Ocala or the Villages, you're at 94, and you can see it feels like 100 in Ocala and Leesburg. You are also feeling like 100. Now, we have designated tomorrow through Sunday weather aware days. We're not looking at a big severe weather threat, but we are looking at higher than normal rain chances, which means we could be dealing with some areas of flooding, even some gusty winds. Break all this down for you coming up with your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Julie, thank you. Taking a live look now at our camera in Daytona Beach. A murder suspect is on the loose in the area, and police are asking people to be vigilant and keep an eye out. Officers say Xavion Perry is wanted for murder in Gainesville, but ended up in Daytona Beach last night where police chased him until they lost sight.
Yeah, your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed is on the beach pier where police are still actively searching.
Yeah, you can see police are still here at the Main Street Beach approach. We have seen officers and deputies out here on foot showing his photo to people to see if they have seen him around. We've also seen the sheriff's helicopter above us for several hours today. Now, police say they're considering this man armed and dangerous. So if you do see him, they want you to call 911 immediately.
I'm not going to say that it's safe, but I'm going to ask the community to remain vigilant.
This is the man police are looking for, 31-year-old Xavion Perry. Gainesville police say he fled their city after they believe he shot and killed a woman. Then around 11:30 Tuesday night, police technology like license plate readers picked him up here in Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach Police Chief Jakari Young says they found him and attempted to pull him over, but he wouldn't stop.
We were informed that at some point he was streaming live on social media where he displayed a gun and he made suicidal statements.
Now, this is the area where police say they last had eyes on him and why they're focusing so much on this area still right now. They say they chased him in their cars beachside here to the Main Street Beach approach. This is where he pulled up, got out of his car, ran up here onto the Daytona Beach pier, jumped over the side onto the sand. That's where they last saw him, and they're still searching.
They didn't find anything, but they searched the whole property thoroughly. He's just on the run. They got to get him.
Mark Rosenthal manages Joe's Crab Shack, the restaurant on the pier. He says it's been covered in law enforcement all day, but Rosenthal says their presence is welcome.
We're all freaked out. True story. But hopefully they'll catch him and we'll go back to Daytona Beach.
Now, the police chief says that they also have not found his gun, so they are assuming at this point that it may still be on him. So that's why they are considering him still armed and dangerous. We're going to keep showing you his photo throughout the night until he is caught. So stick around for those updates. Again, if you do see him, you are asked to call 911 immediately. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Molly Breed, News 6.
Molly, thank you. We're learning new details about a shooting in a McDonald's drive-thru that started with a road rage incident. It happened late last night at the location on Belle Terre Parkway and Bunnell. Deputies say first there was a road rage incident between the shooter and some other people, and then things escalated in a McDonald's parking lot. Detectives are now trying to figure out if the two things are related. Deputies say the people involved in the road rage were not directly connected to the McDonald's shooting. Investigators say when they got to the scene, they found the shooter, a 50-year-old man. They also say they saw a 61-year-old man with several gunshot wounds. He went to the hospital. So far, deputies have not arrested anyone in this. The investigation is ongoing.
Crews are working quickly to rebuild a section of Wymore Road that was damaged from a sinkhole that opened up earlier this month. City leaders say the sinkhole has now been filled. Today, engineers work to make sure the area will be able to support a new roadway. Next, they will need to put in concrete grout. Once that dries, leaders say they will move forward on rebuilding 150 feet of Wymore Road.
A property tax break may be back on the table fast.
Why the governor is summoning lawmakers to Tallahassee and the big hurdles this plan still has to clear.
Matt Austin here, coming to you today with an offer you will not believe.
Trust me. Don't trust him at all. That is a deep fake of me coming up. Would you believe that's me? Would you think that's real? We'll talk about it. This portion of the news is sponsored by True Deals Realty. Today I'm at KB4Con 2026. This is a big cybersecurity conference, but I'm going into a little side room with a guy named Perry who says he can steal my voice, he can steal my face, and he can make me say whatever he wants.
I am Perry Carpenter, Chief Deception Strategist.
So you're a politician, basically.
I didn't think we were going to go there. Yeah.
Carpenter used several real videos from my Instagram. Okay, today we are in the Villages. He dropped them into programs to clone my voice and face.
Hey there, Instagram fam.
Then created a new version with ulterior motives.
Matt Austin here, coming to you today with an offer you will not believe. It's my new meme coin. Get in while it's hot, folks. We're all gonna be freaking rich.
Carpenter says in 45 minutes, he can create a video just like this.
Trust me.
Oh, the whisper. It even whispered. As someone who makes their living off of their face and their voice, this is terrifying for me in so many ways. I'm a little speechless, to be honest with you. At one point, Carpenter even wore my face like a digital skin suit.
Your hair went out of place again.
You can see Carpenter on the left in real time using my appearance to communicate. A scammer could use this to Zoom or FaceTime an unknowing victim.
My hair was out of place in that video. You fixed it!
This is fun in a horrifying way. The amount of information it can process so quickly, you can see the line of people who are in my glasses even. Obviously, I'm terrified. What am I supposed to learn from this?
So the lesson to learn out of it is to realize that our reality is already so warped that we do not know what's real and what's not.
Okay, now that one looked really creepy, and he kind of caught me because that one was airbrushed. If one of your pictures is airbrushed, it looks really weird when AI takes it over.
That is frightening, though.
It really is. And if you watch Reels on Instagram, I feel like they're all now fake. I mean, you see the animals doing the crazy things and all of that.
So that is what he wanted me to learn, is that everything, just assume everything's fake. In fact, he says when you're online or on your phone, approach everything with a healthy skepticism. A recent study from UF showed that while machines actually spot deep fake pictures better than humans, people like you and I, we actually spot deep fake videos better than the AI does. So maybe there is a little hope for humanity.
But it's sad because you can see how people can easily be scammed by this. If someone sees a video of who they think is their relative,
right? You know they have those calls where they'll call you and say that
and now it's actually video.
They're your grandkid and they need to get out of jail. Well, they could take a picture of your grandkid.
Or if they look like they're being harmed in some way.
Okay,
really awful.
So but the bigger issue for me is, as a journalist, having them have control over your image like that and your face and your voice.
But it's anyone. I mean, it could be a
I know, but our credibility is on the line. That's the thing.
Yeah,
and
but
when
I mean,
you see
someone
us
could-
saying crazy stuff, it just doesn't add up, and that's why people we have a hard time having people trust us now.
If I started a meme coin, I would lose this job
Yeah.
promptly.
You wonder if it will lead to maybe some legislation, because if people start putting words in politicians' mouths and making them do things that puts them in a bad light, you wonder if they'll maybe take some action.
That's what it will take.
We'll
right?
see. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Great story, though. Awesome. All right. Turning now to our forecast and meteorologist, Julie Broughton. Julie, you've got some weather headlines back there, but weather alert day in the coming days?
Weather aware day.
Aware.
So that's kind of a step down from a weather alert day. That means that we're not talking about a big severe weather risk, but we are talking about maybe weather that will impact your day. We're expecting rain chances to go up to 70 to 80%. That's where we are designating tomorrow through Sunday weather aware days. We could be looking at 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. So we're looking at the potential of flooding if you're in a low-lying area or a flood-prone area. We could see some lightning and some gusty winds as well. So tomorrow our rain chances go up to 80% as tropical moisture continues surging to the north. So here's the setup, and this setup is going to be in place through the weekend and really into early next week. So as we take a look here, we see this area of high pressure continuing to slide off toward the west, and notice all this tropical moisture surging up from the Caribbean and the Gulf. That is going to continue to keep us with higher rain chances, and that's why that localized flooding is a concern. Where you see the areas of red, we could see up to 5 inches of rain, but on average, we're talking about around 3 to 5 inches of rain as we head through the next several days into next week. Now, today's been a little bit of a transition today. We do have some showers out there right now, not terribly intense. A little bit earlier, we had an airport weather warning in place at Orlando International Airport, and still some pockets of heavy rain. These showers are lifting off to the north, so if you're up in the Blue Lakes Ridge area or up toward Lake Catherine, you'll see these showers lifting up toward your area. Altoona, you're getting in some of that rain as well. And as we take you out a little bit wider once again and show you the rest of Central Florida, we've seen some showers lifting through southern Brevard County up toward areas like Palm Bay and Satellite Beach. And this will be the case as we head through the evening hours. So here's a look at our clouds and rain forecast. There is the clock for you at 5 o'clock. I do think over the next couple of hours, these showers will become a little bit more widespread. Some of those boundaries, including our sea breezes, will interact, and we could see the potential of these showers lasting well into the evening hours, even toward around 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Then as we head into tomorrow, and that tropical moisture that we showed you rise up into the area, that will help bump those rain chances up. Here's what it looks like for you outside right now in Daytona Beach, where we are sitting at 87 degrees. A lot of spots into the 90s, including Ocala at 94. And some of us, especially across our western counties, feeling like 100. Your hour-by-hour forecast featuring Orion, who is an adult now, and we've used his adult photos before. This is when he was a baby. Expect 83 at 7 o'clock, 81 degrees at 8 o'clock. Please send me all your baby cat pictures at clickorlando.com/pins. 7-day forecast keeping that weather-aware status in place tomorrow through Sunday, but rain chances do stay elevated into next week.
All right, Julie, thank you. Telling stories with food.
Our Florida foodie is trying a Michelin Green Star restaurant in the Orlando Mills 50 district. How she found more than a memorable meal. That's next.
This little Michelin Green Star restaurant in Mills 50 might look unassuming from the outside, but inside I found something I didn't expect. A kind of found family telling stories with food. Stories that pulled me closer to my own culture that I'm always trying to reconnect with.
Kaya comes from the phrase kaya natin, which means we can do it. And what's really dope is that when you put the word kaya in the context of the restaurant and say kaya natin, it has a deeper meaning, which is our kaya, as in kaya belongs to all of us. Everyone who's involved in making this restaurant come to life.
You feel it in how people treat you, and how the food's made, and how everything feels connected. Before we even sit down, we head into the kitchen, because there's one dish here everyone keeps talking about. Kare kare. Oxtail braised until it's fall-apart tender, served off the bone, a peanut sauce that's rich and nutty, sweet potato puree that softens everything, and bagon, fermented seafood paste. Salty, funky, and pulls the whole thing together.
I didn't start cooking it until I got into college.
Yeah.
Because I was missing home, essentially, right? And then trying to impress my now wife, my girlfriend back then, you know?
Chef Lo walks us through it, then builds what he calls the perfect bite, and then feeds it to us.
We're all family here, okay?
I feel transformed. I feel my 50% is coming back.
And yeah, that sounds dramatic, but in that moment, it really did feel like something clicked. Like food is this perfect vessel to connect with the roots that were planted long before you.
And that's not even everything I ate. If you want to see the full review, just go to clickorlando.com/insider.
See you on the next bite, foodies.
Well, a lot of people are talking about this on Facebook. Neighbors in Winter Garden are ready to fight a massive new development near their backyards.
The big vote tomorrow and how a quiet area could soon look very different. That's coming up.
Here we are again, preparing for another special legislative session. I'm News 6's Mike Valenti, and coming up, why this session could affect what you pay at home.
Oviedo may soon move forward on a plan to more than double the size of its police headquarters. I'm your community correspondent, Mark Lehman. Coming up, why leaders say the expansion is needed and what needs to happen for it to be built.
Welcome back. We're following several top stories right now. The teen accused of killing his stepsister on a cruise ship is not going to jail, at least not right now. 16-year-old Timothy Hudson is charged with the murder of 18-year-old Anna Kepner. At a court hearing today, a judge said the Titusville teen can stay with his uncle while he decides if Hudson should be held in jail until his trial. Investigators are searching for a murder suspect out of Gainesville. Police say Xavion Perry shot and killed someone around 10 last night in Alachua County. He was later seen in Daytona Beach. If you spot him, you're asked to call 911 immediately. Crews are working quickly to rebuild a section of Wymore Road damaged from a sinkhole that opened up earlier this month. This is new video showing the hole has now been filled. Next, they will need to put in some concrete grout. Once that dries, they'll need to pave that stretch of Wymore Road.
Well, could you be looking at a property tax break? That question became a little less hypothetical today when the governor announced a special legislative session on property tax relief. As News 6's Mike Valenti explains, all eyes will be on Tallahassee on Monday.
How many times have we told you about Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign against property taxes? Our website is full of stories on the topic, and for good reason. But Wednesday's announcement was perhaps the most worthy of a headline.
Well, it's great to be back in Tampa.
The governor in Tampa Wednesday to call on legislators to convene for a special session.
And the primary purpose of that is to make your homestead property tax-free. And that will be historic.
Remember, homestead can reduce the assessed value of your home and thus lowering your tax bill. And DeSantis' proposal will be a phased-in approach of sorts. First, it calls for an initial raising of the homestead exemption to $250,000, eventually raising that exemption to $500,000.
It's surprising and not surprising.
John Hanley is a lecturer of political sciences at UCF.
The governor has a lot of power because he has the line item veto.
Hanley points out that the governor still has a budget to sign, with the legislature expected to pass it later this week.
He can go through the budget and punish any legislators who don't do what he wants by striking out their items, their preferred items from the budget. And so that gives him more leverage to bring legislators over and vote for what he wants them to do.
A property tax proposal would need approval from 3/5 of members of the House and Senate, and then 60% of voters when they go to the ballot this November.
I would bet probably still that this loses if it comes to the ballot.
He says that because local governments cherish property tax revenue. They fund essential services. But in his announcement Wednesday, Governor DeSantis said he would establish a fund that would protect those services. More information on that on our website, clickorlando.com. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
And speaking of property tax revenue, Mike spoke with one Democratic state senator who believes that lost revenue is going to have to be made up somewhere else. Senator Carlos Guillermo Smith of Central Florida says he is skeptical of the governor's proposal. And despite the fact that the governor has promised no new taxes, Guillermo Smith believes this could end up resulting in a sales tax hike.
This is sounding more like a live experiment that puts at jeopardy the financial stability of our local governments. The governor is on his way out the door, but he won't be around to clean up this financial mess when things go wrong.
Guillermo Smith called this proposal not a tax cut, but a tax shift. The Democratic lawmaker would not commit to how he will vote, given that the complete details have yet to be released. Orange County's Office of Management and Budget estimates a $250,000 homestead exemption would result in a revenue reduction exceeding $200 million across countywide fire, rescue, and sheriff's office tax collections. So here's where you come in. Open your camera app, scan the QR code you see on your screen, click that link. It will take you to our poll of the day. Would you like to see property tax abolished in Florida? You can select yes, no, or depends on the specifics. So far, a majority says yes. You can also go to clickorlando.com/react and send in your response to our poll that way. Meantime, like Mike mentioned, Florida lawmakers are already wrapping up a special session on the state budget. The House and Senate reached an agreement on the nearly $115 billion spending plan over the weekend. It has a $150 million tax relief package, including a 3-year tax break on hurricane-resistant windows and doors. It also includes another $514 million for Everglades restoration and a provision to prevent deep cuts to school districts that are dealing with declining enrollment. The final vote is set for Friday.
Now to just a horrifying discovery in Lake County. Investigators say they found hundreds of videos of child sexual abuse material on one man's device. Prosecutors say they feel they have enough evidence to seek the death penalty against him. In March, Lake County deputies responded to a home in Leesburg. Someone reported a child told them 41-year-old Schubert Macarat was abusing her. The victim, a girl under 12 years old, told investigators she used her own cell phone to document the assault.
She recorded it because she knew that she would need it as evidence.
Prosecutors say the man was abusing the girl for at least 3 years. A grand jury is now officially charging him. He is due back in court next month.
Oviedo has been debating this for years, what to do about the city's aging police headquarters. 3 years ago, voters rejected a plan to spend nearly $50 million on a new building. Now the city is working on a less expensive option. As your Oviedo community correspondent Mark Lehman tells us, the city is still looking for funding options.
Even after dipping into the general fund, Oviedo would still be more than $1 million short on this project and may have to turn to its local sales tax. It's an issue the city would have to overcome, as the police department says it's outgrown its headquarters.
We have a floor plan. We've got some very specific documents, but now it really is time to get into the nitty-gritty.
It's an important step forward on a long-awaited expansion for Oviedo's police headquarters. On Wednesday, the city council is getting an update on an annex and renovation project. Is this expansion something that's needed?
If Oviedo is to have its own police force, we do need more space, absolutely.
10 years ago, Oviedo residents approved the city borrowing $11.4 million for a new public safety building, but that never happened. In 2023, voters rejected a measure to build a $49 million police station, so the city looked into an expansion instead. The plan calls for Oviedo to build the 2-story annex here behind me. It would then be attached right over here to the eastern part of the current police headquarters. It would expand capacity by about 15,000 square feet. The project comes with a price tag of more than $18 million.
I think it's a discussion that council needs to have, whether this reflects the will of the residents or if maybe we are getting a little bit bigger than we meant to.
Right now, the city has nearly $17 million available in potential funding with a $1.2 million shortfall on the project. Slatek says state property tax reform could also play a big role in how things move forward.
If the taxing situation should change from Tallahassee, how are we going to pay for police? I don't know. I truly don't know.
Slatek says the city may wait to see what happens in Tallahassee before deciding to borrow more than $11 million for this project. The city council will be getting an update during their work session on Wednesday at 5:30 in the afternoon. For now, reporting in Oviedo, I'm your community correspondent Mark Lehman, News 6.
We are getting a better idea of just how many speeders officers are catching in Titusville with the new school zone speed cameras. We told you about this yesterday on News 6 at 4. Officers now say they have issued more than 16,000 tickets within the program's first 60 days. That means they are going 11 miles per hour or more over the speed limit in a school zone during school hours. Last night, officers gave leaders the update.
The success of this program is going to be based on citations dropping, not increasing.
Now that the warning period is over, those in violation will get a $100 citation in the mail. Now to a new medical warning for those peptides used for weight loss and diabetes.
Health leaders say some are not FDA approved and there may be real risks for anyone buying them online. That's coming up.
It's the discussion and debate of hundreds of homes going up in this area and Winter Garden. Coming up, how people who live in the area feel about it and why they say they don't want it.
Tracking some lingering storms as we head into the evening, but rain chances go way up as we head into our weekend. We'll break it down in minutes.
And as we head to break, there's more to watch on News 6 Plus. Get caught up on Central Florida's news and weather at a time that works for you, 9 o'clock every night. Or go on patrol with Trooper Steve. Get clear on Florida politics and celebrate the best of Central Florida with the News 6 Insiders. You can watch it all now. Just get the News 6 Plus app loaded onto your smart TV. You can download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Original Mattress Factory.
I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton. Just take a look at all of this open land right here. This has been the discussion, but also debate in Winter Garden over the possibility of the development of hundreds of homes, retail space, including a bed and breakfast. So I spoke to people who live in this area. Many say they're not for it. However, some say they're keeping an open mind on what it could be.
Take a look at what you're building. I mean, once you build it, it can't go back.
It's a word of warning Adam Garcia is making to the Winter Garden City Commission over a proposed development he would see from his backyard.
This is just a residential area, and I think the traffic is going to be overwhelming for the area.
The more than 300-acre development would be off Williams and Marsh Road, building more than 600 homes, an event space, retail area, and a 40-room bed and breakfast.
It's not a bed and breakfast. A bed and breakfast is like a grandma with a house. This is a hotel.
The city approved the proposal's first reading with changes made after traffic concerns, including replacing a proposed school with a park. Plans to ease congestion also include discussions about a traffic light, roundabout, road connections, and a turn lane from the development to Garcia's neighborhood.
And coming out of his neighborhood, he's met along Marsh Road. Now, this is where he says he would not want to see that streamline of traffic along here.
That development is going to cause traffic to cut through our neighborhood.
I spoke with some in the neighborhood across from the development who said they are opposed. However, others are not completely against the idea.
I'm very open to it. My only concern is the traffic situation.
Hoping the talks over the road improvements will make a difference with traffic.
Do you feel like that's going to help any?
Well, hopefully it does help. I'm hoping it's enough. I have concerns about that. But I know that it sounds like a beautiful community. At least that's going to be a positive.
And the city of Winter Garden, they're set to have this second reading and adoption over this development Thursday night. And we'll make sure to keep you updated on what that vote looks like. Reporting for News 6, I'm Talisa Hampton.
I mean, we love to see growth, but you never want it in your backyard.
No, and the
That's
challenge
thing.
is as everyone moves to, a beautiful place, and then other people see how wonderful it is.
And they want to move there, too.
They want the same thing.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're in the middle of a city.
Just like that. And while leaders in Winter Garden are talking about growth in the area, 7 schools are closing down in Orange County. Today marked the last day. The closure comes after years of declining enrollment and a drop in funding. The 7 schools are right there on your screen. About 3,200 students are impacted by this. They will be reassigned to different schools come this fall.
Yeah, it's so weird because all we talk about is growth, especially in Central Florida, and then
I think we have a growth of adults, not children. That's the problem.
And then the growth is just in different areas. So, and those were schools that weren't full. All right, we're going to check in now with meteorologist Julie Broughton, who's standing by with our weather headlines.
Yes.
How are things looking right now, Julie?
We're tracking a few isolated showers out there this evening, and we will see some more showers developing as we head through the next couple of hours. But then things really pick up for us tomorrow, and the rain chances stay elevated even into early next week. So we have designated Thursday through Sunday as weather-aware days, which simply means you need to be aware. We're going to be dealing with more rain than we've seen lately, and that means we could be dealing with some flooding concerns, some gusty winds, and some lightning. I think our overall threat for severe weather is low, but again, we're going to be talking about a lot of rain. In fact, look at these rain chances bumping up to 80% for your Thursday, and even staying around 60 to 70% all the way through the weekend into next week. Here's a look at the water vapor imagery. You can see we all have that all that orange representing drier air off to our east, but look what's happening off to our south and west. All that white and green representing that deep tropical moisture that is going to continue surging into Central Florida, bumping our rain chance, as you just saw, up to 80% for tomorrow. And as we head through the next 7 days, we're looking at on average around 3 to 5 inches of rain falling. This will really be beneficial rainfall for our drought numbers, but again, some spots we're already dealing with flooding over the weekend, especially in areas like Tavares and Lake County. So if you are in a flood-prone area, you may encounter some issues because of all the rain we're talking about. Radar scanning out for us right now, showing we are seeing some showers continuing to lift off to our north and west areas in northern Lake County, where you see the areas of orange heading up toward Alexander Springs, right on top of Lake Catherine. You're seeing around 2 inches of so or rain falling per hour, although that shower won't be on top of you for an hour. Taking you over into Marion County, again, seeing some of those showers. And the general motion in the atmosphere today is pushing the rain generally off to the north. So Bellevue, Ocala seeing some of that rain, as well as for our friends in Denellen. And if you're down in Webster, you're also seeing some heavy rain right now. Clouds and rain forecast as we take you through the next couple of hours. Notice we'll continue to see the showers increasing through 6, 7 o'clock. And where our sea breezes collide, which I think generally will be off toward the west of I-4, that's where we could see some heavier activity that I think will linger around well into the evening hours, and then we'll see the rain really beginning to pick up during the day tomorrow. Now, here's what it looks like right now in Brevard County. We're seeing plenty of sunshine, 89 degrees on our Launch Credit Union camera, a lot of spots in the low 90s right now, 92 in Tavares, and it is at 94 in both Ocala and in Reddick. Your hour-by-hour forecast featuring Kelsey. She's got the right idea with her shades. 81 degrees at 8 o'clock. o'clock. Still tracking some showers at 8 o'clock. Rain chances going up to 80% for tomorrow and staying really around 60 to 70% through early next week before we begin to dry out by Wednesday.
All right, Julie, thank you. We are just a few days away now from the start of hurricane season. To help you get ready, News 6 presents Hurricane Season 2026, a 1-hour special built to help you prepare before the first warning is issued. See the new technology News 6 is using to track storms sooner, keeping you safer, plus the smart supplies to buy now and the simple steps that can protect your family when it matters most. Watch News 6 Presents Hurricane Season 2026, June 1st at 8 p.m. right here on News 6. Well, before you click that discount code, a warning about peptides sold on social media.
They are the latest health craze to lose weight, but coming up, why leaders say you may not want to buy them from influencers. As we take a live look at Mount Dora, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, could poor air quality be hurting your health? There's a study that's been underway for years. We'll tell you when the community in Orlando can get the results.
Plus, changes are coming to your weather forecast. Days of rain as rain chances are on the rise. We'll have your update every 10 minutes.
Join us for News 6 Morning starting at 5.
Are there any jobs in Florida that have a seatbelt exemption? Well, believe it or not, there are actually a few jobs here in the state that come with limited seatbelt exemptions. So things like newspaper delivery drivers, rural mail carriers, and sanitation workers actively working their routes can legally operate without a seatbelt during those specific times. I say and emphasize on active. And honestly, when you're stopping every few feet, hopping in and out of a truck all day, lawmakers understood the practicality behind it. But here's the important part. That exemption doesn't suddenly make someone crash proof, right? Physics still shows up for work every single day. A seatbelt is still one of the best things protecting you inside of that car during a crash. And before someone says, well, if they don't have to wear it, I shouldn't either. Well, remember, there's a big difference between a garbage truck doing 12 miles an hour and you doing 82 plus out on I-4 while balancing your lunch. And just pay attention for the rest of us. Buckle up every single time, every trip. If you got a traffic safety question, you want me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Now to a new medical warning about a growing health trend online. We're talking about peptides.
Yeah, they're used for diabetes management and weight loss. Health leaders are reminding physicians the FDA has not approved research-grade peptides. They have not been tested, reviewed, or determined to be safe or even effective. Leaders say this means there are potential risks. Approved peptides are on the market like insulin and Ozempic, but a CBS News medical correspondent says people selling peptides over social media may not be doing it for your benefit.
A lot of people are posting, and they're not just fans. They are making money from this. So they sign up as affiliates for peptide sellers. They post before and after videos, and then they include a discount code, and they get a cut on every sale.
Now, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he's used peptides in the past. He's pushing to loosen restrictions on them. The FDA has scheduled a panel meeting in July to consider allowing compounding pharmacies to manufacture certain peptides. News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Well, today the final bell is ringing not just for the school year, but forever on 7 Orange County campuses. Coming up, the thousands of students being forced to start over and how parents say these closures will change their neighborhoods.
And after just picking up his daughter's diploma from where she would have graduated high school, this is another emotional day for Chris Kepner. We hear from him for the first time.
You can always check out your forecast just minutes away coming up after the break, and you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Plenty of people out on that beach. The rain chances are going to pick up as we get closer to the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. Now at 5, team coverage tonight after a 16-year-old accused of a rape and murder on a cruise ship appears in federal court.
Him being free and be able to do what he wants, he's put it in the back of his mind like there's no consequences for his actions.
Why a judge is allowing the teen to remain free for now. And a chaperone on a school trip to Disney World, now accused of video voyeurism. We're live with what deputies say he was doing in line for a popular ride. Plus,
I'm Jana Manahall in downtown Orlando. The changes that are coming to downtown and how they impact you.
You're watching News 6 at 5. Some new developments tonight in the death of a Titusville teen on a cruise ship. Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother is accused of murdering her, but a judge says for now he will not be held in custody.
That decision came up again in court today, where a federal judge heard arguments over why the teen is still out of custody. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is in Miami, where that ruling and the reasoning behind it were put under a microscope inside the courtroom.
Federal prosecutors here in Miami say Anna Kepner's stepbrother is a danger to others and should be held in custody until his trial. To illustrate the danger, the government disclosed never before shared information about the cruise ship murder. I was outside the Miami federal courthouse as Kepner's stepbrother arrived. Timothy Hudson is just 16 years old. Originally, when this case was being handled as a juvenile matter, a judge allowed Hudson to remain free while living with a family member. But now that a grand jury has charged Hudson as an adult and he's facing possible life in prison, prosecutors are asking a judge to detain him. On the night before the Carnival Horizon returned home to Miami in November, prosecutors say surveillance video from the cruise ship confirms 16-year-old Hudson and his 18-year-old stepsister Anna Kepner were alone together in a cabin for about 3 hours. According to prosecutors, Hudson raped his stepsister, leaving his DNA on her body. Based on how Kepner's underwear was found, prosecutors believe it was a violent encounter and not consensual. After the rape, prosecutors say Hudson most likely put Kepner in a chokehold and squeezed her neck for about 3 to 5 minutes until she died. After hiding Kepner's body underneath a bed in the stateroom, prosecutors say Hudson took her cell phone and then walked around the cruise ship until he threw the phone away in a trash can. Hudson, who has pleaded not guilty to aggravated sexual abuse and murder, did not challenge those allegations at this court hearing. Instead, his attorney argued that the 16-year-old boy is not a flight risk and not a danger to others and should be allowed to remain free while awaiting trial. For now, the judge allowed Hudson to return to his uncle's home. But the judge says he is considering the government's request to detain Hudson. Now, keep in mind, federal criminal juvenile cases are extremely rare. There is no federal juvenile detention center. The judge is asking the U.S. Marshals to come up with options where Hudson could be detained, possibly a state-run juvenile detention center, either here in Miami or closer to his family in Central Florida. Reporting in Miami, Mike DeForest, News 6.
And as we turn from the fallout in court today, we're hearing from Anna Kepner's family and what they think of the decisions in court. Your Titusville community correspondent, James Barbero, spoke to her father exclusively today, who told James the stepbrother should not be walking free.
200 miles away from where 16-year-old Tim Hudson walked into a federal courthouse, this is where his 18-year-old stepsister, Anna Kepner, would have graduated from this month. I can show you outside Temple Christian School where a cross still marks where Anna parked her car right up until that family cruise back in November, where federal prosecutors say her 16-year-old stepbrother raped and strangled her in the room they were sharing. As Tim Hudson was in Miami Wednesday for a bond hearing, I called Anna Kepner's dad, Chris, who told me he wanted the judge to hold Tim Hudson until trial, but instead Hudson's going home to his family in Hernando County, where he's been staying for months.
I want him in custody. I think that if he was in custody, we would possibly get more out of this kid, considering that he's saying that he doesn't remember. If him being free and be able to do what he wants, he's put it in the back of his mind like there's no consequences for his actions.
Anna Kepner's actions left a lasting impact on her community. Since November, students and parents have told me so much about how they adored her.
She would turn a sad room into a happy room. She was just a light.
That light shining at the school's graduation ceremony this month. Chris Kepner talked to me about accepting his daughter's diploma.
It was very nice what the school did for us. The school gave us the yearbook, and they made a whole page about Anna.
And now Chris Kepner told me the school's making his daughter's parking spot a permanent memorial for Anna, and one that never chips or fades. Like her grandfather, Chris told me that Anna wanted to join the Navy after graduation. In Brevard County, I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Taking a live look now at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral. Rain chances are climbing as we head further into the work week, and storm chances are increasing for our inland areas.
So meteorologist Jordan Patrick is in for Jonathan tonight to tell you about it. Jordan?
Yeah, guys, today's kind of the transition day. Started seeing a little bit more shower activity, but not all the shower activity that we're expecting over the next few days. Right now, primarily over Marion County, especially over Ocala this evening. Just a little downpour just to the east of I-75. Now, these storms are continuing to make their way northward. So Reddick, we're expected to see some moderate to heavy rainfall, I'd say over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. But by and large, today we'll see a couple of scattered showers for the rest of the afternoon. I do think with some boundary collisions with the sea breeze, we'll get some more thunderstorms going at around 6 o'clock this evening. I do think this model is overdoing coverage, but it does have the idea of some scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing until about sunset, even around 8, 9 o'clock. Still some scattered showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder out there. Then we start to gradually wind things down overnight. But as Matt mentioned, rain chances are really going to be increasing as tropical moisture flows into Central Florida. We'll talk more about that part of your forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Jordan, thank you. Taking a live look now over Daytona Beach, where we are following the latest on a search for a murder suspect who's on the run. 31-year-old Xavier Perry is wanted for murder in Gainesville, but was tracked to Daytona Beach last night. Officers say they tried to stop him, but he took off, ending in a chase that led to the Main Street Pier. Investigators say he ran from his car, went onto the pier, and then down to the beach where he was last seen. Police say they have been searching all day with helicopters and ground units. They are calling him armed and dangerous.
I have additional resources coming in to saturate that area to ensure the safety, do our best to ensure the safety of the community and the public.
Police say the suspect's gun has not been found, and they are urging anyone who sees this man to call 911 immediately. New at 5, a visit to the Magic Kingdom ends with a man in handcuffs after deputies say a woman caught him secretly recording under her skirt while she waited in line for a ride.
Investigators say the accused wasn't just another park guest. He was a chaperone on a school chorus trip. The incident happened last night near the Tron attraction, and tonight we're learning what deputies say he admitted to after being taken into custody. News 6's Catherine Silver is live outside Disney with the new details from the arrest report. Catherine.
We're learning the victim in this case told deputies that when she caught the man recording, she confronted him. The arrest report says that she was waiting in line at the Tron ride at Magic Kingdom around 7 o'clock last night when she turned around and saw a man crouched on his hands and knees holding his cell phone with the camera angled up her skirt. Deputies arrested Ryan Boufakir after the woman told investigators she demanded he delete the video. She also reported what happened to Disney security. The arrest report says when they tracked him down, he was still on Disney property. He allegedly told investigators he had bent down near an outlet to charge his phone, but then did admit that he took a 15-second long video and intended to keep it for his own sexual gratification. We went to an address listed for him in the report this afternoon to try and ask him about these allegations, but no one answered the door. We also reached out to Disney directly and the South Creek Chorus because the arrest report says he also told deputies he was chaperoning students. We'll let you know what else we learn. For now, I'm live at Walt Disney World. Catherine Silver, News 6.
Catherine, thank you. New at 5, the Lake Brantley teen accused of plotting to kill a classmate inside her school will remain behind bars longer after a judge agreed today to delay her case again. 15-year-old Isabel Valdez appeared on today's docket in Seminole County, where her defense team successfully requested a continuance. Last week, Valdez sent a letter to the judge asking for sympathy and requesting release, writing that the internet and online true crime communities influenced her behavior. Investigators say she and another teen plotted to stab a classmate at Lake Brantley High School earlier this year. She faces multiple felony charges, including attempted first-degree murder. The case is now scheduled to return to court on June 24th in Sanford. 17 years after a Central Florida woman vanished without a trace, investigators say they are actively searching for answers, and they are now using new tools to try to solve the case. Tracy Ocasio was last seen leaving a Metro West bar in 2009. James Hadaway, who she was allegedly seen leaving with, is the only suspect ever publicly named in the case. Today, Ocoee police say they have spent the recent months re-examining evidence, conducting new searches in Lake Apopka and local waterways, and submitted items to FDLE for further testing. Police say they are following every lead possible as they continue to seek justice for Ocasio and her family. Anyone with information is urged to contact Ocoee Police or Crime Line.
Well, after the controversial Sloth World exhibit collapsed amid animal deaths and investigations, Orange County leaders are now moving to crack down on exotic animal attractions. Commissioner Nicole Wilson sent that memo you were just looking at to the mayor and her fellow commissioners, calling for a new countywide ban on the importation of exotic wildlife for commercial entertainment purposes. Now, the memo goes on to say the failed Sloth World attraction raised serious questions about whether current rules do enough to protect both animals and the public. The proposal comes after dozens of sloths died in connection to the Orlando area attraction, sparking outrage from animal advocates and calls for tighter oversight. We spoke to Dr. Rebecca Cliff of the Sloth Conservation Foundation, who says this is something that's a long time coming.
We did a lot of meetings during our visit in Orlando, and we talked to a lot of people, and there was a lot of promises made. And it's really encouraging to see that the commissioners for Orange County are following up on this.
This proposal comes after the FWC banned imports on sloths until July 10th as they work to revamp the state's exotic animal permit rules. Well, you might expect gators, bears, even bobcats in a Florida backyard, but one Longwood woman says she caught something she never imagined in her trees.
A surprise visitor that left her grabbing her phone and questioning what she was seeing.
I thought it was like a large cat, and then it processed, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a monkey.
It's cute. Coming up, News 6 has the exclusive video of the backyard surprise.
A Longwood homeowner says she's used to seeing all kinds of wildlife going around her neighborhood.
But this week, she says something a lot more unexpected wandered through her backyard. A monkey, and she has the video to prove it. Of course, we had to send your Longwood community correspondent, Alex Cook, to check it out.
With the video you'll only see here on News 6, the woman that lives here says she's used to seeing wildlife in her backyard. She's seen gators, deer, bears, birds, even the occasional bobcat. But now she can add a new sighting to her list, a rhesus macaque monkey.
I thought it was like a large cat, and then it processed, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a monkey.
Catherine Castillo was in the driveway of her Longwood home on Monday when she spotted something moving in the trees behind her house.
I dropped exactly what I was doing and just scurried right on over with my phone in hand, like almost a Blair Witch Project, like, ah! And I recorded the monkey walking all the way through.
Castillo says she called Florida Fish and Wildlife right away.
Should I be concerned? And they said, no, it's okay. Just don't approach it. Don't feed it. We don't capture them, but I will do an official documentation of your sighting.
FWC, well aware of these monkeys, called rhesus macaques in Florida. The invasive species was brought to an island near Silver Springs in 1930. They swam ashore and took to the woods, where they have multiplied over the decades. A couple months ago, our News 6 insiders even went into the woods near Ocala to find some. But this sighting in Longwood is about 70 miles from where the monkeys first entered the state. And while this video is exclusive to News 6, you may have seen this very rhesus macaque before. This TikTok video from Castillo's neighbors been making the rounds, showing their furry visitor from another angle.
A monkey is definitely a new one that was not expecting at all. Like, I officially now live in Jumanji, and that's really exciting.
FWC warns that while the rhesus macaques are cute, they carry disease that could be fatal to humans. So they say to keep your distance and that you should secure your trash cans to keep the little scavengers at bay. As for Castillo, she says her visitor hasn't been back since Monday, but she's got her phone ready just in case. I'm your Longwood community correspondent, Alex Cook, News 6.
We have a lot of invasive species in Florida. That one I'm kind of okay with.
That's much better than
cute.
the pythons,
right?
I would say. All right, depending on where you live, you might be seeing something like this outside your window. This video was posted to our News 6 Pin It page by a viewer in East Orlando. This was earlier this afternoon, and we are looking at some weather-aware conditions on the horizon here. Jordan joins us now. Jordan, our meteorologist, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so we're expecting a lot of tropical moisture to come into Central Florida. So we have issued our weather aware days for today through this weekend. And basically what that means is the weather pattern for the next few days is going to be impacting your daily routine more than a typical weather day here in Central Florida. Now, one thing to note is even though it will impact your day a little bit more, we're not expecting a significant severe weather threat. So it is just something that we want to keep on your radar over the next few days. And this is a great time to be sure you have that News 6 weather app. It will send you those updates depending on your location if storms are tracking your way. So for the next few days, as I mentioned, tropical moisture surging into Central Florida. So we're bumping up those rain chances between 70 to 80% for the next 4 to 5 days. And all in all, we'll see about 3 to 5 inches area wide. So because of this, we do see some localized flooding concerns, especially for the more low-lying areas over the next couple of days. Today is more of the transition day. So we're starting to see a little bit more shower activity today than the past couple days, but tomorrow we're really going to start to feel that punch of that tropical moisture. Right now, we're just seeing some spotty developing showers over Ocala. That's continuing to make its way towards Reddick, and that's pretty much where we're going to see those showers for the next hour or so. But our in-house model is showing that we could still see some scattered showers around Central Florida for the evening. So if you are walking Onyx this evening, a gorgeous breed that actually looks like my German Shepherd Husky Mako, you're going to want to be dodging those showers because it looks like drying that guy is not going to be a fun thing. Temperatures into the low 80s, and you'll notice our in-house model still pulling those scattered showers developing across Central Florida through the 8 o'clock hour. So this is 6 o'clock. Notice those dotted showers and thunderstorms around Central Florida. I do think this model is overdoing the coverage, but I do think it has the idea well that we will continue to see these scattered showers around till about 9, 10 o'clock, and then they'll start to fizzle out after that. Moving into the overnight hours, we'll be on the drier side of things with just some passing clouds in our sky. So the storms will linger, and then we'll start to fade them out after midnight with temperatures bottoming out into the mid-70s. Now, moving into the second half of our week, we have been enjoying this dry air, but But notice all of these shades of green that are off in the Gulf of Mexico. That's deeper tropical moisture that's starting to make its way towards the state of Florida. So you'll notice by tomorrow, already starting to see some dotted showers just before lunchtime, moving from west to east. So they'll be developing along I-75 right around lunchtime, then pushing towards I-4 right around 3 to 4 o'clock, and then making their way towards the coastline around 5 to 6 o'clock, with coverage much more extensive than what we saw today. So we'll get that rain coverage up to 80% tomorrow. High temperatures only into the mid and upper 80s because of that increasing cloud cover and shower chance. And this isn't going anywhere. This stream of tropical moisture is with us not just tomorrow, but through the rest of the week and into the weekend as well. And you'll notice that on the 7-day forecast, up to 80% tomorrow. We keep that rain chance around 60 to 70% through the weekend into next Monday as well. Now, keep in mind, we are still under severe drought conditions, guys, so we definitely do need this rainfall, and hopefully this will be a good, at least, dent in the drought that we see right now.
All right, Jordan, thank you. Open your camera app, scan the QR code on your screen right now and click the link. We want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pictures and videos that way.
Well, downtown Orlando is changing fast, and not everyone is on the same page about where it's headed.
Coming up, the new development push that is sparking big questions about what kind of area downtown is becoming.
Your Wednesday evening traffic alert. Look, we have scheduled construction all across Central Florida, but we also are expecting some wet weather over the next couple of days. So make sure you're paying attention. That routine might be in, and then we might be delaying some of this stuff. I-4, Turnpike, things like that. Champions Gate, east and westbound on the ground and up on I-4. And then east and westbound on I-4 here between 528 and the Florida Turnpike. You'll see some ramp work at the Turnpike overnight. And then, of course, some work taking place in your express lanes westbound I-4 approaching the downtown area. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 Traffic Alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Alligator Alcatraz may soon be emptying out as questions grow tonight about where detainees are being sent and how much this controversial facility is costing Florida taxpayers.
Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost says Alligator Alcatraz is no longer accepting new detainees, and he believes that's a sign the facility could soon shut down. Right now, 655 people are still being held at the detention center. The facility has faced months of criticism from Democrats, environmental groups, and the Miccosukee tribe over concerns about conditions, costs, and the impact on the Everglades. Frost says Floridians deserve answers before the facility closes.
Number one, we want to ensure that the families and attorneys know where people are being sent. The second thing is we're shifting to accountability here. We can't allow this place to shut down and then just forget about it.
So far, there's been no response from state or federal officials about whether the facility is preparing to close. Well, this guy copied my Instagram, cloned my voice, built a whole deep fake mat pushing a can't miss investment.
Yeah, it's something we are seeing more and more of online these days. Coming up, how fast someone can do this to you and the simple test to tell if it's real. Plus,
it's the discussion and debate of hundreds of homes going up in this area in Winter Garden. Coming up, how people who live in the area feel about it and why they say they don't want it.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories for you right now. That 16-year-old accused in the death of a Titusville teen on a cruise ship remains out of custody. A federal court hearing today. A judge is allowing Timothy Hudson to stay free for now while the case moves forward, saying additional details are now being reviewed before deciding whether he should be detained. Meanwhile, we spoke to Anna Kepner's father, who says the stepbrother should not continue to walk free.
An urgent search continues right now for a murder suspect out of Gainesville. 31-year-old Xavion Perry was tracked to Daytona Beach last night. Officers say they tried to stop him, but he took off, ending in a chase that led to the Main Street Pier. Police say they have been searching all day with helicopters and ground units. They are calling him armed and dangerous.
A man chaperoning a school chorus trip to Disney is accused of secretly recording video under a woman's skirt inside Magic Kingdom. Deputies say 21-year-old Ryan Boufakir was caught in line for the Tron ride last night with his phone positioned under a woman's dress. Investigators say he later admitted to recording that video, and he was arrested at the park, now faces a video voyeurism charge. Well, could you be looking at a property tax break?
That question became a little less hypothetical today after Governor Ron DeSantis announced a special legislative session on property tax relief. As News 6's Mike Valenti explains, all eyes will be on Tallahassee on Monday.
How many times have we told you about Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign against property taxes? Our website is full of stories on the topic, and for good reason. But Wednesday's announcement was perhaps the most worthy of a headline.
Well, it's great to be back in Tampa.
The governor in Tampa Wednesday to call on legislators to convene for a special session.
And the primary purpose of that is to make your homestead property tax-free. And that will be historic.
Remember, homestead can reduce the assessed value of your home and thus lowering your tax bill. And DeSantis' proposal will be a phased-in approach of sorts. First, it calls for an initial raising of the homestead exemption to $250,000, eventually raising that exemption to $500,000.
It's surprising and not surprising.
John Hanley is a lecturer of political sciences at UCF.
The governor has a lot of power because he has the line item veto.
Hanley points out that the governor still has a budget to sign, with the legislature expected to pass it later this week.
He can go through the budget and punish any legislators who don't do what he wants by striking out their items, their preferred items from the budget. And so that gives him more leverage to bring legislators over and vote for what he wants them to do.
A property tax proposal would need approval from 3/5 of members of the House and Senate, and then 60% of voters when they go to the ballot this November.
I would bet probably still that this loses if it comes to the ballot.
He says that because local governments cherish property tax revenue. They fund essential services. But in his announcement Wednesday, Governor DeSantis said he would establish a fund that would protect those services. More information on that on our website, clickorlando.com. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Meantime, Governor DeSantis has signed another death warrant, putting an Orange County man convicted of brutally killing his wife back on a path to execution more than 3 decades later. 74-year-old Dusty Ray Spencer is scheduled to be executed on June 25th for the 1992 murder of his wife, Karen. Court records show Spencer had a history of violence against his wife before police say he stabbed her to death in the backyard of their home. Spencer was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. This marks the 10th death warrant signed by DeSantis this year as Florida continues to lead the nation in executions.
Tonight, a major development proposal in Winter Garden is moving forward, but not without some growing concerns from the neighbors who fear it could dramatically change their community. The project would bring hundreds of new homes, retail space, and a big event venue to more than 300 acres off Williams Road and Marsh Road. Your West Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton spoke with neighbors ahead of tomorrow's meeting.
Well, take a look at all of this open land. This has been the discussion for many in Winter Garden because of the possibility of the development of hundreds of homes, retail space, including a bed and breakfast. So I spoke to people who live in this area. Many say they're not for it. However, some say they're keeping an open mind.
Take a look at what you're building.
I mean, once you build it, it can't go back.
It's a word of warning Adam Garcia is making to the Winter Garden City Commission over a proposed development he would see from his backyard.
This is just a residential area, and I think the traffic is going to be overwhelming for the area.
The more than 300-acre development would be off Williams and Marsh Road, building more than 600 homes, an event space, retail area, and a 40-room bed and breakfast.
It's not a bed and breakfast. A bed and breakfast is like a grandma with a house. This is a hotel.
The city approved the proposal's first reading with changes made after traffic concerns, including replacing a proposed school with a park. Plans to ease congestion also include discussions about a traffic light, roundabout, road connections, and a turn lane from the development to Garcia's neighborhood. And coming out of his neighborhood, he's met along Marsh Road. Now, this is where he says he would not want to see that streamline of traffic along here.
That development is going to cause traffic to cut through our neighborhood.
I spoke with some in the neighborhood across from the development who said they are opposed. However, others are not completely against the idea.
I'm very open to it. My only concern is the traffic situation.
Hoping the talks over the road improvements will make a difference with traffic.
Do you feel like that's going to help any?
Well, hopefully it does help. I'm hoping it's enough. I have concerns about that. But I know that it sounds like a beautiful community. At least that's going to be a positive.
And the city of Winter Garden, they're set to have this second reading and adoption over this development Thursday night. And we'll make sure to keep you updated on what that vote looks like. Reporting for News 6, I'm Talisa Hampton.
Well, it was an emotional day for many families in Orange County, the last day of school for those public school students.
But it was also the last day students would step foot in 7 Orange County schools. That's because they are being closed due to low enrollment. Your Orange County community correspondent Amy Russo was outside one of the elementary schools closing its doors as the last morning announcement was read over the intercom.
A tough day for many families in Orange County as 7 Orange County public schools are set to be consolidated. That's due to low enrollment. I'm News 6's Amy Russo. Check this out. McCoy Elementary. This is one of those 7 schools that is being consolidated. And we were outside the school this morning as the last morning announcement was read over the intercom.
Very, very happy last day of school. Everybody have a terrific, wonderful last day.
That was the final morning announcement ever for McCoy Elementary School. It's just one of the 7 Orange County public schools closing their doors, ultimately forcing thousands of kids to move to new schools. Gracie Guillen's 7-year-old daughter is one of them.
Es un choque emocional bastante para ellos.
It is a huge emotional shock for them. Their school is their second home. We talked about how she would go to another school, that McCoy was closing, and she asked me, "Why, Mom? I like my school. I like my teacher, my classmates, and my friends." Heartbroken by the closure, Guillen lives close to the school and says she's going to miss seeing children around her neighborhood.
No escuchar. Porque siempre se escucha.
I will no longer hear the children playing in the park, the principal giving directions, or the daily activities happening at the school. Now, it's going to feel much quieter. Since the initial announcement that the schools would probably be consolidated, parents have been very vocal. That includes Amanda Weber, who previously spoke to News 6 and has a son at Bonneville Elementary, one of the other schools, saying goodbye to students.
We're changing their before school care, we're changing their after care, we're changing their teachers, we're literally changing everything.
Guillen did say as far as what's next for her child and what school she would be going to in the future, that leaders over here at McCoy Elementary did equip them with the proper tools for an easy transition. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Amy Russo, News 6.
New at 5, Flagler County leaders say losing air conditioning right now could quickly turn deadly for senior citizens. That's why the county is urging seniors to apply now for emergency energy assistance as temperatures continue to soar across Florida. Through the Emergency Home Energy Assistance Program, or EHEAP, eligible seniors can receive up to $2,000 to help cover overdue power bills, shutoff notices, or even critical AC repairs. County leaders say older adults are especially vulnerable to heat-related illness. And in a county where nearly a third of residents are over 65, even a short loss of air conditioning can quickly become an emergency.
Well, if you've driven down the highway, you've definitely seen them. Weigh stations for trucks.
But who has to stop at them, and could it be you? Today on Trooper Steve, Steve answers that very question that a viewer asked as her brother came into town in an RV.
Whenever you're approaching a weigh station that looks similar to this image right here, you'll see them out on the highway. and there's warning signs that say, hey, weigh station ahead. So what are the rules specifically for a weigh station? So trucks and commercial vehicles must stop when it's open. Read and follow every sign. So if the sign says bypass and you're in a commercial vehicle, you're going to bypass that. Personal and passenger vehicles may bypass a weigh station. Failure to stop when required may result in a citation.
Trooper Steve says every once in a while, you may see a sign that an enforcement is going on telling you your RV does need to stop. But if you do not see that sign, you are good to go. To watch the full episode, just head to this article on clickorlando.com, and you can watch Trooper Steve on patrol weekdays at 2:30 in the afternoon and 8:30 at night on the new 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV or clickorlando.com. Letting a stranger essentially steal your face and voice.
So I got the chance to experience just that firsthand. This is fun in a horrifying way. The process behind AI-generated deepfakes and the lessons experts say we should take away from this.
And the News 6 weather team has issued weather aware days for the rest of the week and into this weekend as tropical moisture is surging into Central Florida. What that means for your forecast and your weekend coming up after the break.
And there's more to watch on News 6 Plus. Get caught up on Central Florida's news and weather patterns at a time that works for you at 9 o'clock every night. You go on patrol with Trooper Steve, get clear on Florida politics, and celebrate the best of Central Florida with Are We There Yet? For News 6 insiders. Watch it all now. Just get the News 6 app loaded up on that smart TV.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Shark Coatings.
Today I'm at KB4Con 2026. This is a big cybersecurity conference, but I'm going into a little side room with a guy named Perry who says he can steal my voice, he can steal my face, and he can make me say whatever he wants.
I am Perry Carpenter, Chief Deception Strategist.
So you're a politician, basically.
I didn't think we were going to go there. Yeah.
Carpenter used several real videos from my Instagram. Okay, today we are in the villages. He dropped them into programs to clone my voice and face.
Hey there, Instagram fam.
Then created a new version with ulterior motives.
Matt Austin here, coming to you today with an offer you will not believe. It's my new meme coin. Get in while it's hot, folks. We're all gonna be freaking rich.
Carpenter says in 45 minutes, he can create a video just like this.
Trust me.
Oh, the whisper. It even whispered. As someone who makes their living off of their face and their voice, this is terrifying for me in so many ways. I'm a little speechless, to be honest with you.
At one point, Carpenter even wore my face like a digital skin suit.
Your hair went out of place again.
You can see Carpenter on the left in real time using my appearance to communicate. A scammer could use this to Zoom or FaceTime an unknowing victim.
My hair was out of place in that video. You fixed it! This is fun in a horrifying way. The amount of information it can process so quickly, you can see the line of people who are in my glasses even. Obviously, I'm terrified. What am I supposed to learn from this?
So the lesson to learn out of it is to realize that our reality is already so warped that we do not know what's real and what's not.
That's a game show, Matt. That's what we called him. He's very creepy. We asked Carpenter about how you can spot a deep fake. I wanted answers. I wanted an easy button. He told me it's important that your viewers know, he said, that even though some sites say they can figure out if a video is AI or not, they all have fundamental flaws that can lead people to a false sense of reality. In fact, he's been able to trick every single deep fake detector he's ever tried, he said. He also said there's no reliable, easy button for determining if something
It is really terrifying because obviously you want to look at the source, like who is posting this, where is it coming from? But people can even impersonate sources out there,
that,
you know?
That they can, and we've seen that out there as well. But yeah, it's fascinating, but a lot of it really comes down to just common sense. Would Matt be starting a meme coin? Actually, my meme coin starts tomorrow. It hasn't started. No,
Right,
I'm just kidding. No meme coins for me, and if somebody's asking you for money, you really need to verify and ask questions.
100%, yes.
All right, let's turn now to your weather. Shower chances for the rest of the week are rising.
That's good. Speaking of money, we got some liquid gold coming out of the sky as we take a live look over Daytona Beach. Meteorologist Jordan Patrick standing by with more on that. Jordan?
Yeah, I think we're all extremely excited at the fact that we are really elevating those rain chances, even though, yes, it is going to hinder our days just a little bit. But right now, today, we're calling it the transition day. Starting to see some of those showers developing primarily over towards Marion County, just north of Ocala over Reddick right now. That's continuing to push northward, and that's going to move into Gainesville over the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. But notice right along I-75, that's where we're really seeing these showers and thunderstorms bubbling up. Right over Bushnell and Webster right now, right along 75, pushing northward and points south from there. Dade City also starting to see some of those showers starting to move on in. And that's going to be the trend for the rest of the afternoon, pushing into this evening. Notice our in-house model picking up on that line of storms and then pushing it eastward. Notice right along I-4 around 6 to 7 o'clock this evening, lingering until about 9 o'clock or so. Notice how it's still around Orlando, Sanford, down towards Kissimmee. And then past 9 o'clock, we start to see it fade away as it loses the energy from the sun and we slip into the overnight hours. So we do think after 10 o'clock, most of us will be dry. We'll keep a lingering shower around till about midnight and then pushing into your Thursday morning, things on the drier side of things. So the storms will be around for the rest of this evening with temperatures holding steady into the low and mid 80s, at least through 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, and then we'll drop down to the mid 70s overnight with those storms lingering till about midnight, and then we'll see dry conditions pushing into your Thursday. But notice by Thursday afternoon, we are ramping up those rain chances up to 80% as those storms and clouds continue to increase as tropical moisture makes its way into central Florida. So for tomorrow morning, the morning commute, Nice and dry, just some passing clouds out there, but pushing into lunchtime, we start getting those showers and thunderstorms developing around I-75. And with our pattern flipped now coming out of the west, these storms are going to push eastward as we move into the afternoon. So notice by 3 o'clock, that's when these storms start to push into the I-4 corridor, into the heart of Central Florida, then pushing into the coastline as we make our way towards 5, 6 o'clock. So the evening drive, I do think east of I-4 is going to be the wettest. If you're west of I-4 towards I-75, your evening drive does look to be a little bit drier. Now, we're going to continue to up these rain chances for the rest of the week as we just have this channel of tropical moisture coming in from the Caribbean and funneling right into Central Florida. So that'll be the trend, not just tomorrow, but even into your Friday and into the weekend as well, as we are just sandwiched between a high pressure to our east and low pressure to our west, and that's continuing to funnel all of that moisture into Central Florida. So let's get that forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Advent Health.
You'll notice we do have those weather-aware days tomorrow through Sunday, as those rain chances are expected up to 80%, with those widespread showers and thunderstorms through Sunday and lingering rain chances into your Monday and Tuesday. Guys?
Jordan, thank you. Well, a Lake County man accused of years of abuse against a child now facing about 50 charges and a possible death sentence.
Coming up, the secret videos investigators say the child recorded and how prosecutors plan to use them as we take a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, could poor air quality be hurting your health? There's a study that's been underway for years. We'll tell you when the community in Orlando can get the results.
Plus, changes are coming to your weather forecast. Days of rain as rain chances are on the rise. We'll have your update every 10 minutes.
Join us for News 6 Morning starting at 5.
seeking the death penalty. I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting in Lake County with hundreds of videos that detectives say show child sexual material, including recordings that a child took as proof of the alleged abuse at the hands of 41-year-old Schubert Makarad. Prosecutors here in Lake County feel they have enough evidence to seek the death penalty. In March, Lake County deputies responded to a home in Leesburg after someone reported that a child had told them she was being abused by 41-year-old Schubert Makarad.
So when I say ongoing, we're talking years of abuse for this particular child.
The victim, a girl under 12 years old, told investigators she used her own cell phone to document the assault.
And she recorded it because she knew that she would need it as evidence.
Arrested that same night, a grand jury has now indicted Makarad on 47 charges, 12 of which are capital sexual assault for the alleged abuse and possession of child pornography.
That's resulted in addition to those things being collected, a 4 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive, that had at least 3,000 videos on it, 700 of which are confirmed child sexual abuse material.
Because of the severity of the case and the amount of evidence prosecutors say proved Makarad was abusing the girl for at least 3 years, they are seeking the death penalty.
In this state, we protect our children. In this state, we protect our vulnerable. In this state, we have zero tolerance for child predators.
Makarad is due back in court next month. Of course, we'll update you as this case continues. Reporting in Lake County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
First, a Central Florida teen accused of killing his stepsister on a cruise ship remains out of jail after a major development in court today. Plus, an active search for this man who is wanted for murder in Gainesville. New at 6, a live look at where he was spotted in Daytona Beach and how he outran police. And FWC is now warning that if you see this monkey in your neighborhood, do not approach it. Next at 6, one woman in Seminole County shares her encounter with the monkey she spotted in her backyard. This is a live look now at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Together Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
I'm News 6 investigator Mike DeForest in Miami, where we are learning horrific new details about Anna Kepner's murder on a cruise ship. That's coming up.
And right now, a murder suspect is on the run in Daytona Beach after police say he led officers on a chase, then jumped off the pier and disappeared. The urgent warning for people in the area and where detectives are looking right now. Plus, monkeying around in Seminole County. Now at 6, the surprising backyard encounter in Longwood. Why wildlife officials say this unexpected visitor could be dangerous. You're watching News 6 at 6.
Well, now at 6, here's another look at the homicide suspect from Gainesville. Law enforcement says was last spotted in Daytona Beach. An update on where the search for him stands coming up in minutes.
First, though, new developments tonight in the death of a Titusville teenager on a cruise ship. Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother has been charged with her rape and murder.
But at least for now, a judge is allowing the stepbrother to remain free out of custody. So why is that? News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is in Miami, where that question was addressed during a court hearing.
Talking about the cruise ship murder, federal prosecutors here in Miami made a somewhat unusual analogy. Just like Star Wars is different from Star Trek, prosecuting someone as a juvenile is much different than prosecuting them as an adult. I was outside the federal courthouse as Anna Kepner's stepbrother arrived. Timothy Hudson is 16 years old. Prosecutors say Hudson violently raped his 18-year-old stepsister on a Carnival cruise ship last fall and then likely placed her in a chokehold, killing her. Now, originally the government charged Hudson with juvenile delinquency. Keep in mind, the goal of juvenile prosecutions is to rehabilitate the child, not punish them. Juvenile delinquents must then be released from custody when they reach 21 years old. So when Hudson first appeared in court in February, a judge agreed that Hudson could remain free, living with an uncle while awaiting trial. The judge did put several restrictions in place, such as requiring Hudson to wear a GPS monitor. At the time, court records show the judge did not think Hudson was a flight risk, nor did the judge think Hudson was a danger to his siblings or other family members. But months later, a grand jury indicted Hudson for murdering and raping Kepner. So the case was transferred to adult prosecution. Just like Star Wars and Star Trek are different, prosecutors say the consequences Hudson is now facing are different. The biggest difference is that he could go to prison for life if convicted. That's why the government is now asking the judge to detain Hudson until trial. For now, the judge is allowing Hudson to remain free, but the judge says he is considering the government's request. Before deciding whether to detain Hudson, the judge has asked the U.S. Marshal to provide options on where Hudson could be locked up. Perhaps it will be a juvenile detention facility here in Miami, or maybe one closer to his home in Central Florida. Once the judge has that information, he says he'll make a decision on whether to detain Hudson. Reporting in Miami, Mike DeForest, News 6.
And now only on 6, our James Barbero was the only reporter to speak with Anna Kepner's dad after learning his daughter's suspected killer would remain free.
Chris Kepner says he was hoping the judge would hold Hudson until trial.
I want him in custody. I think that if he was in custody, we would possibly get more out of this kid, considering that he's saying that he doesn't remember. If he can be free and be able to do what he wants, he's put it in the back of his mind like there's no consequences for his actions.
So Chris Kepner also told James her high school, Temple Christian High School, presented him with Anna's diploma, and they're making her parking spot a permanent memorial for her. We've been covering this case since the very beginning. We'll continue giving you updates. Look for them both here on the air and when we're not on air over at clickorlando.com as well.
All right, time now for a look at your forecast with meteorologist Jordan Patrick. It has been a cooker out there. A little on the warm side, but hopefully there's some relief on the horizon in the form of rain.
Yeah, we're already starting to see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms developing right along the I-75 corridor, especially up towards Marion County. Just north of Ocala, we're seeing some good little downpours over Reddick. That's continuing to make its way up into Gainesville. So definitely some flashes of lightning, some very heavy rainfall right along I-75 just south of Reddick. That's going to continue to push into that that area over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Down 75 from Wildwood towards Royal, down towards Bushnell. Still some budding showers and thunderstorms continuing to develop, and even south into Dade City. And this is just the genesis. We'll continue to see these showers bubbling up and then pushing towards I-4 for the rest of the evening. So if you are going to be walking Onyx later on this evening, I would do it sooner as opposed to later, because that shower chance continues to move eastward over the evening hours with temperatures into the low 80s. And you'll see that our in-house model pulling those showers eastward till about 9-10 o'clock this evening, and then we'll start to dry things out. But Ginger, rain chances really ramp up starting tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in about 15 minutes.
Jordan, thank you.
All right, now back to that urgent search we told you about at the top of the show. It's a murder suspect on the loose in Daytona Beach. Police also believe he is armed. Investigators say he shot and killed a woman last night in Gainesville.
Yeah, less than 2 hours later, they say he led law enforcement on a chase in Daytona Beach, ending with him running from the vehicle and onto the Main Street Pier. News 6's Troy Campbell is live at the beach tonight with a message from police. Troy.
Yeah, I can tell you that Daytona Beach police, they've been walking around this area all day long. We've even spotted them showing people pictures of that suspect. Now, let's take a look. Investigators say this is 31-year-old Xavion Perry. Now, Gainesville police say at about 10 o'clock last night, their officers responded to a report of a shooting at a condominium complex. Law enforcement says the victim, a 23-year-old woman, died from her injuries. They say Perry, who's suspected to be the gunman, quickly took off from that area. Then about an hour and a half later, Daytona Beach police say their license plate readers went off, signaling Perry's vehicle was in the city. Officers then attempted a traffic stop, but they say Perry fled. Once the pursuit reached the Main Street Beach approach near the pier, investigators say Perry took off running onto the pier before jumping onto the beach. Things took another turn when they say Perry then went live on social media, showing a gun, making suicidal statements. We spoke to the manager of a business here on the pier who says they welcome the law enforcement presence.
They didn't find anything, but they searched the whole property thoroughly. He's just on the run, and they got to get him. It's a deterrence for business. If you see a million cops, why would you want to bring your family here? I mean, I have a 9-year-old. I wouldn't bring him right now.
And we do continue to see a lot of children around as I'm speaking to you now. And again, investigators do say if you spot Perry, don't approach him, go somewhere safe, and then call 911. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on if he is located. Live on Daytona Beach, Troy Campbell, News 6.
Yeah, the last thing you want to have to think about if you're trying to enjoy a beach day is police searching for a suspect like that. All right, Troy, thank you. A man is accused of recording video under a woman's skirt while working as a school chaperone on a school trip.
Yeah, the woman was waiting in line at Magic Kingdom when she noticed this guy. News 6's Catherine Silver is combing through the arrest report to learn exactly what happened.
We're learning the victim in this case told deputies she caught him recording and then confronted him. The arrest report says she was waiting in line at the Tron ride around 7 o'clock Tuesday night when she turned around and saw this man crouched on his hands and knees, holding his cell phone with the camera angled up her skirt. Deputies arrested Ryan Boufakir after the woman told investigators she demanded he delete the video. She also reported what happened to Disney's security. The arrest report says when they tracked him down, he was still on Disney property. He allegedly told investigators he had bent down near an outlet to charge his phone, but then did admit that he took a 15-second long video and intended to keep it for his own sexual gratification. We went to an address listed for him in the report Wednesday to try and ask him about the allegations, but no one answered the door. We also reached out to Disney directly and the South Creek Chorus because the arrest report says he was at the park chaperoning students. We'll let you know what else we learned from them. At Walt Disney World, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Well, property tax relief is now front and center in Tallahassee after Governor Ron DeSantis called for a special session on Monday. The governor wants lawmakers to take up a plan that could eventually eliminate property taxes on homesteaded homes. The proposal would start with a major increase to that homestead exemption, first to $250,000, then eventually to $500,000. Experts say the special session's timing puts the odds of lawmakers approving the elimination of property tax in the governor's favor.
The governor has a lot of power because he has the line item veto. He can go through the budget
and punish any legislators who don't do what he wants by striking out their items, their preferred items from the budget. And so that gives him more leverage to bring legislators over and vote for what he wants them to do.
A property tax relief proposal needs approval from 3/5 of members of the House and Senate, and then 60% of the voters on the ballot in November.
Well, today marks 17 years since this woman, Tracy Ocasio, was last seen. She vanished without a trace. Investigators say they are actually searching for answers, and they are now using new tools to try and solve this case. Ocasio was last seen leaving a Metro West bar in 2009. James Hadaway, who she was apparently seen leaving with, is the only suspect ever publicly named in this case. Today, Ocoee police said they have spent recent months re-examining evidence, conducting new searches in Lake Apopka, and submitting items to FDLE for additional testing. Police say they are following every lead possible as they continue seeking justice for Ocasio and her family. Anyone with information is urged to contact Ocoee Police or Crime Line.
Well, talks over a proposed development in Winter Garden are not coming without some pushback from neighbors who are worried what it could mean for traffic and their overall community. For more than 300 acres of project is here off Williams Road and Marsh Road. The project includes more than 600 new homes, retail space, an event venue, and a 40-room bed and breakfast. The city has already approved the first reading of the proposal, which changes made after traffic concerns were raised, including replacing a proposed school with a park. City leaders are also discussing possible road improvements, including a traffic light, roundabout, new turn lanes. But neighbors say they're still concerned about too much growth.
That development is going to cause traffic to cut through our neighborhood.
I'm very open to it. My only concern is the traffic situation.
And that's always the worry. The city will have the second reading and adoption of the development proposal Thursday night. All right, let's take a live look at downtown Orlando. The big question we're asking tonight, what's happening downtown? Straight ahead, another downtown Orlando nightclub is closing its doors. Why the owners of the Attic say rising costs, construction, parking issues, and what they call a shift in downtown culture are making it hard to survive.
And a monkey spotted roaming through a Longwood backyard. The wild video caught on camera and the warning from wildlife officials about this unexpected visitor.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health.
When you think of downtown Orlando, you typically think about its nightlife scene. Clubs, bars, you name it, and downtown Orlando had it. But The Attic, right behind me, posted on Tuesday afternoon that they would be closing its doors for the final time. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jada Manahalal, and I'm going to be talking all things changes to downtown Orlando.
We put a lot of money into this place to keep it open, but with another dreadful summer that's about to come with all the college kids gone, we just, Gotta stop the bleed.
Matty Bullitt is one of the owners of The Attic and Treehouse nightclub. He says changes to downtown have made it harder to stay open each year.
We can't afford operational costs, right? We can't afford the AMS fees. We can't afford insurance, rent, all the things that make it impossible to operate. So for now, it's just closing operations.
Bullitt says the closure of Attic isn't only a loss for a community, but the people who work there.
Everybody's out of a job, so it's not just Attic closing and the ownership, taking the L. It's everybody included. That make this place great.
Just a few blocks down from The Attic, Tanqueray, the underground jazz club here in downtown Orlando, closed its doors back in December of 2025. The building manager for the historic Metcalf, which is where Tanqueray's is, told me that the goal for Tanqueray's is to become a coffee shop and light bites eatery. The space above it used to be a TD Bank. They're supposed to sign a 10-year lease agreement for a restaurant called Tropics. The reason that downtown is changing so much isn't only the businesses, it's also the streets here. Look at Magnolia Avenue here. You see those construction cones there and the construction they're doing. You can definitely hear it, but Magnolia Avenue isn't the only one having work done to it. Orange Ave and Roslyn Ave are also being turned into two-way streets. Meeting documents from Orlando's Community Redevelopment Agency say the reason for making one-way streets into two ways is to be more pedestrian friendly. But it's not only roads that are changing. For many people coming downtown, it starts here by parking your car and going to pay at one of the parking meters or maybe the parking garage right behind me. However, city leaders actually announced they would be increasing parking rates at the meters and in garages coming this summer. For more information on the changes coming to downtown Orlando, you can head to clickorlando.com. For now in downtown Orlando, I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
Well, it was a tough day for teachers, students, and parents at 7 Orange County public schools. Today not only marked the end of the school year, but also the permanent closure for a group of schools. The district is closing schools because of low enrollment, saying it's no longer financially sustainable to keep them open. At McCoy Elementary, the final morning announcement played over the intercom, marking the end of an era for many families who have been fighting to try to keep the school open for months. One mom told News 6 the closure has been an emotional shock for her 7-year-old daughter.
It is a huge emotional shock for them. Their school is their second home. We talked about how she would go to another school. That McCoy was closing, and she asked me, "Why, Mom? I like my school. I like my teacher, my classmates, and my friends."
So the closures will impact about 3,200 students. They'll be reassigned to different schools starting in the fall. In Longwood, one woman says she's used to seeing gators, deer, maybe the occasional bear in her backyard.
Yeah, but this week she spotted something she never expected to see climbing through the trees. This little guy, that's a monkey you're seeing right there. She grabbed her phone and started recording, catching a rhesus macaque wandering behind her home.
A monkey is definitely a new one that was not expecting at all. Like, I officially now live in Jumanji, and that's really exciting.
Okay, so Castillo says that she called Florida Fish and Wildlife right away, and they told her not to approach or feed it. The monkeys were first brought to Florida near Silver Springs decades ago, but this sighting happened in Longwood. That's about 70 miles away. FWC says while the monkeys may look harmless, they can carry disease, so if you spot one, be sure to keep your distance.
The monkeys in Jumanji steal cars, so I don't think we're to that level yet.
I mean,
but fun little sighting.
Let's not find out.
It is Florida. No.
It is
Florida. Meteorologist Jordan Patrick joining us now to talk about that weather. And we have a weather aware day coming to us tomorrow, right?
Yes, starting tomorrow, but we actually have several through the weekend as we're expecting up to 3 to 5 inches of rainfall through Central Florida for the next few days. So basically what a weather aware day is we expect the weather pattern to impact your day-to-day life a little bit more than usual, but we're not expecting a significant severe weather threat. So we're calling it a a weather aware day. So be sure to have that News 6 weather app. It'll give you those updates and alerts around your location if needed. But we are anticipating a lot of rainfall over the next few days as tropical moisture continues to make its way from the Caribbean and into Central Florida. So rain chances up to 80% over the next few days. Like I mentioned, 3 to 5 inches of rainfall are possible. Some localized areas could get even more than that. So localized flooding is something that we will continue to monitor over the next few days. Right now, even on our radar, we're seeing more showers and thunderstorms starting to develop, especially over towards Ocala, over into Reddick right now. More of those downpours continuing to make its way north into Gainesville. Looks like Reddick's going to dry things out, let's say over the next 15 to 20 minutes. But down south towards Royal, Wildwood, down towards Bushnell, still seeing those downpours. Ocala's dry for now, but this is making its way into your neighborhood over the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. And down towards the south into Dade City and Zephyr Hills, still seeing these developing showers and thunderstorms bubbling up. And with our steering flow from south to north, Bushnell seeing some showers right now, but we're expecting more to be moving into Sumter County over the next 30 minutes to an hour. And we're also anticipating Kissimmee to get some spotty to downpour activity over the next hour to 2 hours as there's some more showers to the south. Notice our in-house model pulling that line of storms to the I-4 corridor around 7, 8 o'clock this evening. Even at around 9 o'clock, still expect some of these scattered showers and maybe a rumble or thunder or two around. It's not going to be until around midnight when all of us start to really dry things out and we see these showers fizzle out. And then overnight will be on the drier side of things before we get even more of those showers and storms developing tomorrow. So for tonight, temperatures into the mid-70s. Those storms linger, like I mentioned. Most of it will die off at around 10 o'clock, but we'll keep some spotty showers around till about midnight and then dry things out. But here we go. 80% of those showers and storms tomorrow afternoon as that tropical moisture really starts to make its presence known. It's not going to be until the afternoon, though. So morning commute tomorrow looking like a little bit on the cloudy side, but nice and dry. It's not until lunchtime that we start to see those showers developing. But our pattern is going to be on the flip side. So they're going to develop around I-75 around noon, then push towards I-4 right around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then make their way towards the coastline as we make our way towards the evening drive. So let's get you that 7-day forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
So you notice that weather aware day tomorrow through Sunday as rain chances are exceptionally high, up to 80%, with temperatures into the mid and upper 80s. And we continue that shower chance even into early next week. News 6 will be right back.
A look now at today's top stories. A 16-year-old accused in the death of Anna Kepner on a cruise ship remains out of custody. After a federal court hearing today, a judge is allowing Timothy Hudson to stay free for now while the case moves forward, saying additional details are still being reviewed before deciding whether he should be detained. Meanwhile, we spoke exclusively with Anna Kepner's dad, who says Hudson should not continue to walk free.
Tonight, an active search remains in place for a murder suspect out of Gainesville. 31-year-old Xavion Perry was tracked to Daytona Beach last night. Officers say they tried to stop him, but he took off, ending in a chase that led to the Main Street Pier. Police say they've been searching all day with choppers and ground units. They're calling this guy armed and dangerous.
Governor DeSantis is calling for another special session. The governor wants lawmakers to take up a plan that could eventually eliminate taxes on homesteaded homes. The proposal would start with a major increase to the homestead exemption, first to $250,000, then eventually to $500,000. The special session is expected to begin Monday.
Jordan Patrick, any storms out there tonight?
Yeah, we're watching some storms towards Marion and Sumter County this evening, right along the I-75 corridor. You can see some flashes of lightning just west of I-75. This is moving from south to north, so Ocala expect more showers and thunderstorms over the next half hour. So we do expect this line to push a little bit eastward over the next few hours. So downtown Orlando around I-4 still could expect some showers around 8, 9 o'clock.
Okay, good to know they could linger around a little bit. We have more news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com and the News 6 Plus streaming app.
Until then, have a good night, everybody. Bye.